Okay, today is March 5th, and the time is 4:34. We called to order the meeting for the hearings for the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Okay, and then this is our first appeal, it's number 6. The property address is 6 Tunsis Hill Road. The owner on the property, you just corrected it, it's Lily, and then the N and Momo, M-O-M-O, right? And the town has your personal property valued at $7,490, and you're asking it to be reduced to $364.
And we just need to swear you in, so if you just both raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes,
And can you just state your name
sign?
for the record?
Lisa Belvedere.
Mohammed Hayat.
Okay.
Okay, signatures.
And I'm just gonna close the door, because usually the next one comes, and sometimes they come right in.
Yeah.
You should have a sign on that door.
Okay, thank you.
And this is your opportunity to tell us why you're here and why you want the reduction from the $7,490 assessed.
Well, I missed the filing.
Okay.
We missed the filing, then we got hit with a $1,500 penalty. First, we're first-time owners, or at least business owner, at least on my part. So filing, I didn't know I have to. Plus the equipment we have, they are like 6-7 years old, and I'm pretty sure I work at print shops for a long time. I won't buy it for a dime.
So did you ever end up filing? Did you file late?
Oh, yeah, no, I came in and I filed, yeah, and
Just
then that's
late.
how, yes,
You filed late?
I
Okay.
filed late,
Okay.
and that's the paper you have there in your hand. And I
So
believe it's in order, because I did it did it with one of the clerks in the assessor's office to help me, to make sure everything was.
So the town's value is $7,490, and you are asking it to be $364.
Computer.
Yes.
And
The
that's
only thing that I
assessed
can sell inside the property.
This is fair market value.
364.
Yeah.
Okay. So for personal properties, we try to talk assessed. So I just want to make sure you're asking for the right amount. So you're actually asking for the assessed to be 70% of 364. Does that sound right?
So the assessment is 70% of the appraised value, fair market value.
Mhm.
So since the town, well, actually, the assessed value, they wrote it in here.
Yeah, I was giving
town
the
value wrote
fair
in here,
market
assessed.
value.
That is the town's assessed value. The question is, what are they asking for?
Yeah,
Their
so-
asking amount.
So right here, you say fair market value, 364. If we were to take 70% of the,
The 364.
or actually, no, the assessed value is 7,490, which means the fair market value is even higher.
On the town side.
Yeah.
But what we're
The
trying to
town
figure
side.
out is what
Yeah.
they're asking for.
Well, let's just show them
And
the
whether
two
that's
numbers.
assessed or appraised, that's all I'm trying to
Okay,
figure out.
I
Right,
can
right,
So
right.
you're trying to
on a
say the
short note.
364 is what it's worth?
The computer,
The
yes,
equipment?
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
There's
So-
probably-
We are running two machines in the shop, one
So I
printer.
would say you're saying that's fair market value is what they're saying.
Right, and so the assessed value would be like $255, which is 70% of the 364.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. We just have to talk apples to apples, otherwise
Yep,
you'll get
sure.
taxed on more than what you want to get taxed on, so I don't want
Right.
that to happen. Okay, so we'll say it's 255 assessed. On the bottom of that form, there's a number for, right, of 364 somewhere
It
after
is,
you were
right
done?
here,
No, on the declaration.
declaration.
Yeah,
This is
that's
the-
your deck, yeah. So the very last number on there, did they put a total at the end for you? Usually there's a summary page somewhere and it has a total at the, right on that page at the bottom. See that? No, I don't see anything.
Okay.
Often they total it up. So do you have a 364 number somewhere on there?
I don't think this is filled.
No, it is, there's numbers right here.
Oh, but they didn't get carried over to the
No, I
column
guess
on the
not,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so that's
He
what,
was helping me do it.
usually they carry it over and total it up. So I have a calculator here if you want it.
Yeah,
Tell you what the
please.
numbers were, and I'll
Or
just
actually
make sure.
have
the
it on
town's
the
fair
phone.
market
Do you
value?
wanna use yours?
Numbers.
The town has, they just gave them something because they didn't know what it was. So we're trying to figure out is what are they saying that it is? Because then the penalty goes down based on
So you want
the depreciated value.
value, okay.
Yeah, that should go over in the right, see the right column on there?
Yeah.
It should have been carried over to the right, so
Number
you could add
16.
down.
So what do you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna add them up for you.
106.
Oh, you have a calculator too,
And then
okay.
this is, that's,
240?
well, that's 20, and 20.
And it's the depreciated value that you're adding up.
What is that?
Average monthly number of months, I don't know.
23.
I'm not sure what that one
I don't know
No.
what that means.
There's nothing here.
Okay, change to 400.
as opposed to 364.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let me add it up.
Just checking. if there's
Okay.
any other- Yeah, I brought up.
Okay, came to 400.
There's
There's nothing
no
on
Is there any
there.
place where $36 shouldn't have been put in? Is that how you get from the 364 to
I don't know, 'cause
400?
I don't know what this one is. Number 23 is supposed to be carried over, but it says 10,
Expense supplies, averages the total amount
Number of
expended on
months.
supplies since October 1st, 2023, divided by the number of months in business. So 120 divided by 10, so it should be 12.
okay, so then that's 412. This comes to 412.
412, okay, and just to be clear, so that's the appraised value, right? Because that's what it's worth. And then
I
we're
guess
gonna
so,
take-
yeah.
We're gonna take 70% of that.
No, do 412, then, yeah,
Comes to
288.
288, so we round up to like 290.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna say you're asking for, is assessed, is the 290, as opposed to the town's assessed value of 7490.
Okay.
Well, I just want to make sure that we're doing it right.
I know.
The equipment in my shop, like, if I want to sell them, nobody will buy them.
Right,
Do they have a value?
because you're using them,
Yeah,
I'm using them.
yeah, so they have some value. Right,
But I'm saying that the
It's
price,
not retail.
the price tag that I should put on it is the selling price, because if I sell it,
no, the
I know it.
depreciated.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, what do you put on your IRS when you?
Right,
decide to
right,
buy
and that's
it?
the thing, we haven't filed the
let's
tax
put it that
yet.
way. It's a
So like,
printer.
the paperwork never coincides with when you file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Because
all-
no
it
one's
is.
working with each other. You know what I mean?
Like, how much would you pay for a Mercedes that drove 300,000 miles?
Yeah. So
Same.
are
then we
this the only equipment that you have, or
Yeah,
computers?
it's a
Well,
printer.
yeah, we have that
We have
in
a
our
printer,
computer.
we have a vinyl cutter, but,
How many computers?
We have a
one.
laptop and, yeah.
No, that's personal. She's using her personal,
Yeah.
using mine, but
Yeah,
there's one
but
in
if they're used for
there's
the
one in the shop.
business, then you have to
So
declare the
two?
one for the
Two?
business.
There's one in the shop. For the
Oh.
shop?
What you're
there's
using
only
to
one.
run your business is what it would be.
The one in the shop.
The one in the shop, the
Yeah.
one you
Okay.
guys run, use the business, and that's on that sheet, you declared the computer on
Did
that
you
sheet.
declare the computer?
I'm gonna check really quick, 'cause I,
And how old is it?
The computer?
oh, the
Yeah.
computer.
Okay, we might
Barely
have,
running.
Yeah, it's barely running. I was complaining
Yeah.
about it yesterday. I'm like, it's gonna die.
Electronic, it's right here.
Okay, so I did put it.
yeah.
Electronic data.
So what we-
I did put it.
What we might have you do, is Karen in the office, she handles the personal property, just give you a call tomorrow to confirm that all these numbers are right, and then she'll be at our meeting tomorrow night when we vote on this. And
Okay.
if it's okay with that, between the two of you, she will just give us what,
Okay.
just to make sure you're doing it right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she'll have this paperwork in front of her when she calls me?
She will.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll know what you've been, what you came up with, you just make sure you keep that one with your 412 or
Right.
whatever on it, okay?
Yeah.
I wrote that number down. And then the other thing is there is a penalty, but the penalty is 25% of the value. So the penalty you got was $1,500. But
I know.
it's not $1,500, it's 25%
Of
of
the 7.
is a gross assessment, and then you pay taxes on that penalty. But because now your gross assessment is $290, you're gonna get a penalty of 25% of $290.
Okay, and then I come in and I pay it by check or something?
Yeah, I don't even, because that's so low, and the mill rate's what, 28?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're gonna owe anything, you only owe like $10.
Okay, but I
Okay.
still need to, yeah, I still
They'll
need to
send
pay
you a
it.
bill, I think
Yeah.
if it's less than $10, they might not bill you.
Okay,
I'd have to, yeah, I don't wanna spend the time doing the math right now, but that's basically it.
Okay.
It's the $290 plus 25% of that, which is
Yeah.
what, 75? Yeah, so you're at like $375,
Yeah, $72.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're not, I don't even, is it that much?
I wanna make sure that I've been heard, but
25%?
we do own
Oh,
we do own a large format printer in the shop and a vinyl cutter.
Is that on the sheet?
No, because they're worth nothing.
Yeah, but
Like,
you still have to
if you wanna
play
sell
with
them, that's what I'm trying to.
So let's have that conversation with Karen, and then you can make
Okay.
sure that she understands what you have and whether you're using them for your business or not.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
great.
All right, so I'll
Yeah.
make sure I bring everything into the shop tomorrow, so when she calls.
Yeah, I'll have her give you guys a call. Is there a phone number that
It's
on the
it's on the
sheet?
paperwork,
It's on the
yeah.
paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're comfortable with that?
I
It's
need,
gonna be way less than where you were.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, unless you
And I
get it
think
right.
she's the person who I called, I asked her about it, she told me what time is she only the one that only works until noon?
No, it could have been Michelle or Karen. There's
Oh, maybe it was
a couple-
Michelle.
Michelle
Then
kinda
I
helps
came
with
in
it, and Karen-
before noon, and then she, of course, wasn't working that day.
Oh, no.
Then a gentleman helped me
Okay.
fill it out.
Yeah, so Karen and Michelle are the two that do more of the personal property, and I would trust them to, you tell them what you have, make sure that it's filled out correctly, and we get the right value.
Okay,
Okay?
all right,
Yep,
beautiful.
and
All right,
we'll vote tomorrow night, hopefully it's all figured out, and then you'll get a letter within a week.
Within a week,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
okay,
What
thank
what
you.
is Lily and Momo? What is that?
It's an online shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Etsy store.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we sell like, wall decals for kids and stuff like
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Mhm.
Okay,
All right.
you guys are all set, you wanna send the
And we
next
sell
group
art
in?
as well, that's why I was,
Oh, that was
Maybe
in the
find
post
out.
office, yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
the USPS,
is it signed? Yeah, it is signed.
yeah.
Nice.
Right, thank you
All right,
so
have a
much.
great
Thank
night,
you.
guys.
Free to go?
You want
Yes.
us to
You're all
send
set.
the next
Yes,
people in
please,
for
yeah, there's
you?
probably the
Okay.
440
This
people are
the one
here.
that canceled, the motor vehicle?
Oh, no, yeah,
Yeah,
the motor
but-
vehicles put that one away, and he's not here, but it's not in, they didn't put them in order.
Oh, they
So
didn't?
the next is number 13, so you'll have to find
Oh.
13. My swear-in sheets are in order, but
Oh.
not the folders.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, are you appeal number 13, still 259 Stilson Road?
Yeah, it would be me.
The dentist,
Hey.
okay, perfect. Let me just get some paper. So, I'm just gonna read some, let's see, the time is 4:45. I'm just gonna read some information into the record, if you could correct me if any of it's wrong. Your appeal's number 13, the property address is 259 Stilson Road. The owner of the property is Brian Amoroso,
Oh,
DDS.
Brian, you
Yeah.
worked down my mouth before.
How are you?
The town has your personal property, I think it's assessed at $27,380, and you're asking for a reduction to $18,400. Is that right?
It is correct.
It is correct, okay. And then
All right.
Green is just going
We're
to,
going to swear you in. If you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we'll just sign there. Sent to you by Dr. Josh.
All right, Dr. Callahan.
Yep.
He's in Aruba right now.
Is he? Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yes.
We have someone taking care of his baby, his puppy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know about the puppy. I knew about all the girls
Uh-huh,
and the grandbabies.
yeah. All right.
okay. So this is your opportunity to tell us, why you don't believe the town has your, practice or your personal property valued accurately. Yeah.
I didn't receive the declaration that was supposedly mailed this year.
Okay,
As soon as I usually get it, I return it promptly. I've done that for the past 24 years. So the assessment was an estimate, and that estimate was higher than it has been in the past. So if you look at the past 24 years, depreciation has reduced it gradually over time. So the estimate was much higher than it was last year, and it doesn't follow the trend towards it going lower.
okay, yeah, it looks like last year was 18,740, is that?
Correct,
Does
and
that
I have
sound right?
previous years if you want to see them, but
No.
it's gone down.
Okay,
So it was estimated high, and there are also, in looking it up, there's a 25% penalty if I'm filing after November 1st, which when I found out from the assessment that I needed to file something, I went down to town hall and submitted the affidavit. So you should have that.
It might be, Helene has the larger folder. Is there more in there, Helene?
Like
is
on the
it-
declaration of
Is
personal
this deck
property?
in there?
Correct.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that was the first time actually it crossed my radar that I had not sent the declaration back, but I had not received it.
Yeah,
And you've done this in how many years prior to this?
24 years.
24 years.
And it's
Yeah.
not only, I mean, if you look at my record, I filed my car taxes, my real estate property taxes in my office taxes, and they've always been timely. It's just I didn't receive
right.
the declaration, and to be honest, there are so many things on my radar, and I
Of
know it's not an
course.
excuse, but I am very prompt with taking care of things and understand that the town, you know, the taxes I pay are going for a good reason.
So I think the law is that even if you don't, like, they mail you the deck, but it's not required that they mail it to you. So I think the law is that you have to file regardless of whether you get and then the penalty, unfortunately, we can't waive the penalty as
Right, we're
like
not
state
allowed
law,
to
we're
do
not
that.
allowed to waive the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So the best that we can, do for you is to make sure that what number's on your deck is accurate now,
Mm-hmm.
because that would be less than what the town probably had you at.
Mm-hmm.
And then the penalty will go down. And the penalty is a percentage of the assessed, so they add it to the assessment. So you're not
Right.
paying $5,000 penalty, you're paying taxes on another $5,000, or whatever the penalty ends up being. So at the bottom, does it look like your, total net depreciated and assessment? Is that the $26,035?
So I'm also confused about the penalty. If it's 25%, how does that come up off the numbers that I'm looking at? So even if you assessed me, how does the $5,480 come up as 25%?
You, subtract, it's in the gross assessment, so you'd have to subtract the $5,480 from the $27,380 to come up with
Right.
22 something, and then divide that
Right, but if
by
you do that,
yeah,
it's greater than 25%.
the $5,480. Unless you got a penalty for something else, let me see. I thought I did the math, I thought it was 21,900 is what
Oh, we'll be finished in a minute.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so they had you assessed at 21,900, and then they put a penalty, a 25% penalty, and that brings you to 27,375.
Yeah, you just told me that if I took the assessment and
Where do you
reduced
see
it by
that?
the penalty, that should be 25%.
No, you have to like divide by it, it's a little
Right.
tricky, so say,
So I come off $5 difference, but you're charging me more than 25%. Is
Oh,
that fact?
well, whatever you say the assessed value is, so are you saying that your
No,
appraised
that's what
value
you're-
is 26,
No, you're stating in this that it's 27,380, correct?
including the penalty?
Right, so if you deduct the penalty, isn't the penalty supposed to be 25% of the number?
No, it's 25% of the assessed value, so it's 25% of the 21,900. They assessed you they think that your property's worth 21,900. Then they multiplied it times 1.25, or they added 25% of 2190 onto that.
What page is that?
5480 to get to that.
Where is that 21?
I have them giving me all of the things.
Oh.
I
see.
know, they didn't put them on this year, actually.
I'm like, where is
Unless
it?
it's in the folder, is that it there? Is that it?
No, I don't see it.
5480?
No.
Yeah, so this
So
is how I did
if
it.
you reduce this by the penalty, right?
But the penalty is 20,
And And then multiply this by 20.25.
You're saying you're taking 27,380 and subtracting 5480?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not 21,900? That's what I did it, 5480, it's 21,900,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and then multiply 21,900 times 1.25, and you'll come pretty close to the 27,380. I think it's 27,375, and then they
Correct.
add $5.
For,
Just they round up. They don't do the fives. They round to the zeros.
huh,
So that's why. So really all we're trying to figure out is now that you filed your declaration,
yeah.
if you're saying that what you have is worth $26,035 appraised, is that right? I think that's what you filled out on the declaration. There's a subtotal of $26,035. So you have to multiply that times 0.7 to get the appraised assessed value. This is not my calculator. How do I work this thing? So 26,035.
Assessed is always 70% of the appraised.
Yeah, it's confusing. So you're saying your assessed value is 18,220, which is lower than the.
Which is actually close to last year's.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And the town
makes
right
sense.
now has its assessed value at 21,900. So then you would take the 18,220, and because you filed late, add the penalty to that.
Mhm.
You multiply that times 1.25
Past 24 years. We didn't get the declaration.
to come up to.
It says the declaration's mailed to businesses during September and due by November 1st.
You should double check that they have the right address for you, 259 Stilson
Mhm.
Road, that
You've
looks
had
like
it for the
it,
past
right?
24 years.
Yeah.
And the zip is 06825, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, one thing to remember is, April 15th is tax day, maybe just put it into your phone,
No, I've just relied on, you mailed the
I
declaration
know,
for the
I know,
past
but
24 years.
unfortunately,
It's like, I guess,
you're the one who's penalized and we can't,
right,
our hands
No, I
are
guess
tied,
it's
we
like-
can't do anything about it. And for your sake, I'm saying just maybe set a reminder
yeah.
so that if this does happen again,
Yes.
you're not penalized. It's unfortunate. I wish we could do something about it, but.
Yeah, it's just,
Do you have
Yeah,
an
no,
account?
I take care of this component,
Oh, God,
my
yeah.
own, and I've done it.
Oh,
And I'm sure you have been
So I think it's
diligent.
is it $15 in taxes on the penalty? I think
That's what
that's,
it amounts to?
yeah. You're paying taxes on the penalty.
well,
I thought,
Unless they
I
did the
thought
math
the
wrong.
assessor said it was
$54.80.
$150.
That was the old one, was 5480. Just do it on
Oh.
5480 times the mill rate, right? Divided by
the
1,000.
mill rate's .27
Yeah, or something like that.
times 5840. What? Yeah,
5480.
no,
Right.
$157.
Right,
Did I
that's
do
what
it
the
wrong?
assessor told me. Which constitutes penalty, I mean,
No,
how,
it's annoying.
of the three of you, you've received like a gas bill or an electric bill or a credit card bill,
Mhm.
and for some reason you didn't receive it and didn't pay it, but when you realized that you were in need of paying it, you took care of it.
Mhm.
But there wasn't usually a penalty. Those
Right.
companies usually say,
No.
with my patients, we remind them
Right.
that payment is necessary, but we don't penalize anybody.
Right.
It's just a
I
little
know,
bit
or like a
unfair.
60, 90-day waiver
Right.
period or something.
Right,
Yep.
and again, as soon as I
Well-
recognize the issue,
Welcome to bureaucracy and the government and how they get their
Yeah.
extra cash. Mm-hmm.
we'll put it on my calendar, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And we'll
We
get
wish-
it down
we wish
because
we could
we
waive
will
it.
get it down because of, you filed your deck, right?
Okay.
Right, and we can use that, we'll use that new number,
Alrighty?
okay?
Thank you, Brian. Sorry
Thank you.
that.
I know, you were my doctor way back when.
Yeah.
Langland, I'm Langland,
Ah,
remember Corey
well,
Langland's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dr. Langland was a program director at the
Yes.
University of Connecticut. I
Yes.
just saw Mrs. Langland. She held a
Elena?
event for,
Yes.
for the UConn alumni.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I went years ago, I don't know
Yeah.
if she still does it.
Yes, she held
Yeah.
something just this past year.
You know-
Oh, she did,
Right,
oh,
honoring one of the,
Mm-hmm.
one of the fellows that your dad knew, one of the pulp biologists from Italy. You probably
Oh, I know
remember
him, I
entertaining
know
him.
him, what the heck
as a
is
kid.
his name? He's a character.
Yes,
As soon as you
yes,
said from
very much a
Italy,
character.
typical Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, he'd be the, meet you,
Yeah.
kiss your
Her
hand,
name
you
was a
know.
very young wife.
One of those, and his wife was
very
a
sharp,
sweetheart.
yeah.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Yes.
Oh, well,
I just-
nice.
All
Whenever people talk about dentists and how much they hate the dentist, I've always said, oh, I think I fell asleep one time during a root canal, and I was in your office. I just remember,
I
I was
didn't fall
like running,
asleep.
and I was like so tired, like, oh, it feels so good to just lie back.
Yeah.
And there was that beautiful picture window, and it was the fall, and there was a gorgeous orange and beautiful tree, and the music was playing, and I was like, oh, this is so relaxing.
Not so bad, right?
It wasn't bad at
Well, good.
all.
That's funny.
Excellent. All right, well, good seeing you. Lynn.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you.
They're not in order, so.
Okay.
What's the
No,
next
I can read you the order if you want to put it in here. I have the agenda here.
Okay.
We already did 6 and 13, and I think 7 is the no-show at 450. Or
Okay.
withdrawn, that's the 1300 Post Road, right? That's the, and then it's number 16 and 21.
So cute.
That's
Thank
it.
you. 16,
And then 21,
okay,
Penfield Road.
okay.
Those are the last personal properties. Then you want me to read you the real estate?
Sure.
I don't know if our next person's out there.
Yeah, there was some woman out there.
Okay, so then 3, 14, 18,
3.
yeah, because then we're going into real estate.
Oh, okay, yeah, 3.
Then 14, then it's almost in order, it is in order, 18,
Whoa, oh.
19,
Hold on, oh, that's all right. I don't wanna get messed up.
22.
You were coming to appeal.
So Peter Rupert is arriving at 5 o'clock,
The first, next one?
and Carol Langland arrived at, what, 4:50, Carol?
Yes.
Okay.
My apologies. Here's the next one. Well, is this the one who? Yeah, this Louise, yeah, she's,
She said, okay, so the next one here is our 5 o'clock, which it is right now, so.
very funny.
Are
So then we
ready?
got Post Road. Come on in.
Hi.
I'm the 5 o'clock.
You're the 5 o'clock?
Okay. I'm ready to go.
Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna, read some information into the record. If you can correct me if any of it is wrong. Your appeal number is number 16. The time is 5 p.m. The property address is 39 Marlborough Terrace, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, the owner or the business is Astro Construction?
Yes.
Okay. The town has your personal property valued at $6,490, and you're requesting a reduction to $945. Okay. And can you just say your name for the record?
Marita Lashe.
Okay. And you're the owner of the business?
Yes.
Okay. And who is gonna swear her in, or? Okay, we're gonna swear you in.
Somebody,
Where's the form?
I have
Do
a
you
file.
yes, and if you raise your right hand, please, and then you can sign. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I'll help you with that. Okay, great. You wouldn't mind just signing, right there.
Oh,
Perfect.
it's red. That's okay?
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And now it's, your opportunity to tell us, why you would like the reduction.
Oh, all right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's
Well,
okay.
we are it's a new company, started in May, planning to stop everything, nothing that I do myself. So really, what I need is my old computer and the papers. I do have some e-commerce and some little stuff, but planning to stop everything. So I really don't have anything to add to it.
no desk or anything like that?
Of course, but it's a desk that was there already before, so there is nothing, it's just, I work from home.
Oh, okay.
I don't need,
It's on, okay.
it's not
I
like
read his face.
office on the side
Yeah.
or, no. Work on my kitchen table,
So this address is your home address?
yes,
Yeah,
39
okay.
Marlborough Terrace.
Got it.
Okay.
I don't own any equipment that is something that I didn't,
your
that I
computer?
bought for this, yes.
Okay, yeah,
That was also my computer, so.
right, but usually it's like, you have
Yeah.
to declare at least your computer and your desk
I think we
and
did
your
that.
chair. So did you fill out a form
I think
late?
we did that.
Okay, so is there a,
Not the chair and the desk.
she just had you declare the computer?
Yeah, I told her that I really
Okay.
don't have like a specific
Okay.
working area,
Mm-hmm.
so,
That's the kitchen table.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, 'cause I have 8,000, I don't know where this number came from.
I was gonna ask you where that came from.
I don't know. My forms might have not it may have come in wrong. I'm not sure. I just want to make sure that the town has her at 8110.
Yeah, that was the.
And what are you asking to go to? Is it 945 or no?
950 or 945, what was that?
It looked like it was 950, it was depreciation.
Yeah. Hold on a second, I haven't done this before, so I have no idea.
No, you're good.
What was it?
Yeah, the sheet says 1,081.
Yeah.
I lost it. Oh, gee.
Oh, I think that it's a fault. I don't know, maybe because I see construction and it's a fault.
Yeah, I don't know how they come up with that, especially since
I'm
it's
sure.
new. And it has a penalty in it too, right? So it's 64.90
Yeah.
with a penalty applied.
That's because actually when it came, I was like, what is that? A
Yeah.
scam again? I had no idea.
When in doubt, call.
Because
Yeah.
Okay.
I never heard of this, so I was like, oh, okay. Then we came to the town where it came on a letter.
Do that. Oh, so there's a declaration scanned in here, right? Do we have a,
You should have the same papers that
they
they
aren't,
gave me.
they aren't totaling anything up, that's really, all right.
Oh, at the,
Yeah, right.
at the front?
I saw that too.
The net
Kinda weird,
depreciated
yeah.
value, they used to total it up and put the total at the bottom.
Okay, so it's
It might
950,
be-
400, and, so it's 1,500, right? Together, all of those.
What's the electronic data processing equipment? See that on the page previously, there's a $400 in number 20. Do we add that in? Carol, do you have the paper there? Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little hard on my computer to scan through and see. It's really,
Yes, it
And
is
the
400. She asked me how much did I buy my computer before, what year, and then we came up with a,
I see a 950 on line number 16.
Yes,
That's-
I see $1,000
And then keep going, I think.
for furniture, fixture, and equipment.
That's depreciated value of 400.
No, I'm looking at the columns over to the right. I see a 400. I
Mhm.
see a 950 and a 400 on line number
I don't
2.
see the nine.
So then, why do you
number
have,
16.
Number 16 is 950.
yeah, number 16?
Yeah, but see, then you go to the bottom, and then there's 9 and 10 again, and I just... Oh, I see. You're looking just on that summary sheet. I see.
Furniture.
Never mind. The 950 gets carried over, and the 400. And at $50.
So what are these values? Because you said you only have a computer.
I said that I don't know anything big, but I do have some small, like hammers, wrenches, and little.
So that added
So
up
that-
to your
yeah.
$1,000 of furniture,
Yeah.
fixtures, and
Yeah.
equipment.
Yes,
Got it.
So $1,400 total.
and since, we started in May, there was like that 50.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure where the other 50 is, but,
There's a 50 on line 23 under expense
okay.
supply.
Yeah,
So then the
and
total,
that's
yeah,
the paper.
1,400
And
appraised.
maybe we can like.
1,400.
Appraised, right, and then we're gonna take 70% of that, and that's
Yep.
gonna be her ask amount, and maybe that is the
Yep.
945, whatever that is.
So
And
your late fee will be applied to your much lower
Okay,
value, not the,
1,400.
and can I ask for you guys?
8,000. We can't
So
waive it, it's a
State
state,
law, wish we
Law.
could.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
So 980, is that what you guys see as 70%? Okay, so 980 is what you're asking for assessed,
Yes.
okay.
Is this, gonna be
Plus
done
the
every
penalty.
year?
You have to file every year.
Is
Yeah.
there a date?
By
that I don't
November
wanna
1st.
forget?
By November first, yeah.
November
And
first?
when
Put it
you
in your
got
phone.
that, it should say, it says it right on there, that you have to file by November first.
Regardless of whether you get a declaration or not
Yeah,
in the mail.
Oh.
yeah, so.
It's like your taxes, you gotta file it before,
Occasionally,
even if they don't tell you.
yeah,
Oh, right.
it could get lost in the mail, so you should put it in your phone as a reminder.
Yeah.
But so, just so she understands what her penalty is, so 1,400 times.
It's 980 assessed.
5.
No, that's the appraised is 1,400. The assessed is 980.
So 980
Plus
times
the 25%.
0.25 is 245 times 0.27. So your penalty is $66.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
so you understand that.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's not fine, but
I mean,
it's a lot lower
it's
than
a
what
fine.
you think it is, you know?
yeah. I was afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've already turned that in downstairs, so they'll have it in the computer correctly.
Do I have to pay it now, or do I go downstairs, pay it?
You probably owe it at the tax collector's office.
Yeah, and I don't
But
think
I
you're there.
would wait until we vote and you get your letter, because it's gonna be a new amount that you'll owe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then then they'll know that that's the correct amount for you to
Yeah.
pay.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you are accumulating interest probably if you haven't paid it. So that's the other thing you have to weigh, right? The town charges interest on late taxes.
Yeah.
So you could pay some of it and, you know,
Just a minute.
I just wait a week.
I'll do better next time.
it's hard when you have a new business that happens.
When you know better, you do better.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Well,
You're all
thank
set.
you, ladies
You're
and
welcome.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good
See
luck.
you next year.
No,
No, you'll do it right.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have a baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
got
bring
our
all
ashes.
smoke 'em in.
Pointing somebody to shoot you.
Ash Wednesday.
Are you sure you're calculating the taxes right? What am I doing? Mill rate 28 on $1,000?
I don't know if I did it right. Did I do it wrong?
$1,000.
27.
$28.
Have a
$27 on $1,000, isn't that how it goes?
Yeah. You're right, I did that wrong
So
then.
on the penalty, if it's a $100 penalty, it's like $3.
You're right. I think I put the decimal in the wrong place. It's
No,
probably
you're-
$6. .027 times,
Or if you just do .27 times the number and then move the decimal point over 2, I think.
yeah, over 2.
I think it's 27 on every $1,000. So
You're
just
correct,
think about
yeah.
it that way.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah,
$1,000
yeah,
bucks,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
$27.
you're right.
If it's a $100
Thank you.
penalty, it's gonna be $2.70.
You're right.
Yeah.
27, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Sorry about that,
$6, not 66.
Giving each other a math lesson, so.
No problem.
Hi, welcome. I'm gonna read some information into the record if that's okay. The time is, 5:10 PM. And just correct me if any of it's wrong. So your appeal number is 21. The business address is 421 Penfield Road. I see the owner is Allison Morano. Do you have a business name that's different, or that's the name of your business?
The incorporated name is Ally Morano Inc., and
Ally Morano Inc.
I have a DBA with the town called Alchemy Collective.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what is the appeal number?
Yeah, number 21. And I'm sorry, what was the DBA?
It's called Alchemy Collective with no E on the end.
No E on
The end of collective.
collective. Okay. Okay, and could you state your name for the record?
Sure, it's Allison Morano.
Okay. And I just want to make sure we have the right information for you. So it looks like the town has you valued at an assessed value of $3,000, which is what was on the statement. And you're requesting a reduction to $390 assessed? Okay. And then Helene's going to swear you
If
in.
you would just raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
And if you would just sign right there. Thank you.
Sure.
you can go ahead and state your case.
Sure, this is my first time, receiving something about the assessment of what I'm supposed to be using for my equipment in my office. I don't know what the assessment was based on. I think that was my first question. But when I did the calculation on my own, it came out to be much less. So I don't know if you should have that for the record of what I actually calculated. So the desk that I'm using was a gift. It was actually left in my former apartment, so we just had it. So I don't have everything I do is digital. So the only thing I assessed, I think, was the equipment.
Who do you consult? What's your business?
So I started my own business about a year and a half ago, and I do business consulting for nonprofits and for corporations to kind of bring the two together in conversation.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Furniture.
Okay, so that's $390 appraised, right?
Appraised.
Okay, so we're gonna take 70% as that.
What's that?
I'm trying.
Oh.
I didn't have the calculator on. I see 273, so I think that's 270. Does that sound right? We'll write it down.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And you work out of your home.
I do, most of the time. Sometimes I go into the city to see clients.
Okay, and so what you filled out, looks like you filled out the declaration, you just did it late? And,
I didn't receive it in November.
right. Okay, but it wasn't filed in November, so when that happens,
Right, so as soon as I got it, I didn't know what it was. I called, I forgot the woman's name, she was very helpful. She walked me
either
through
probably
it.
Michelle or Karen or somebody, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
They're getting stuck in people's catalogs, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know. We've heard like a dozen.
We're still not used to receiving paper mail. 'cause
I
think
know,
everything's digital,
right?
So you might be right, because I
Yeah.
throw out all the catalogs,
Put it in your phone.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
as a reminder.
Every year.
that I should be expecting it.
By November first.
Even if you don't get
Even if
it,
you don't get it.
you're still required to file.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
not, it's not that we do you a favor, but we don't, it's not
No,
required
I'm
that we
required
mail
to
it
file
out.
by which date?
November first.
Every
And it's
year.
called filing the assessment?
Personal
Personal
property.
property declaration.
Declaration.
Yeah, in the same way that we know in the back of our minds that April 15th is tax day, just you need to remember that November 1st is your deadline for declaring your personal property.
Okay,
Yeah, and so this 3,000 that it's like a default,
that's what I figured, because you don't know.
Yeah.
if they don't have anything. Yeah, right. The burden's on you to
It's fair.
come here.
Yes, and you'll still get a penalty, but the penalty will be based on the 270 instead of on the 3,000. So I don't even know if you're gonna get a tax bill, right? It's the-
Yeah, I mean,
So
it'll be
low.
so low.
It's so low.
Yeah,
Yeah, your total bill is probably like
yeah,
$10.
Yeah.
I don't know,
not bad.
not bad.
So just so I understand the process, I'm being taxed on what I'm using in my home for my business?
Correct.
That's considered personal property, just like your car
Yeah.
and your home.
Okay?
Okay.
Could be worse.
It could be, no. it's all
Yeah,
good.
All right.
and there should be electronic filing next year, like you should, I think there's the ability to have everything that they filled in.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done it, but I think, Carol, have you done it or no? Do you use the electronic form?
No.
Yeah, there's supposedly an electronic form, so you could fill it out online, and it'll, help you with the numbers from last year,
Okay.
so.
And notice, are they going to be noticing people the
Of
same
the
way
personal property?
electronically? Yeah.
I don't know how they do, I'm not sure, but the assessor's office.
It's all a paper notice, is there a way to request that I'm notified by email?
That's a good question, I don't know the answer to that. You could ask them.
You would think it would save the
Wouldn't
town
that
money.
be efficient?
Agree.
Yeah. 96 cents.
It's
They
crazy,
do it
like,
either
it's
email,
more, I
right?
feel like it's
Is it
more
more
than
than that
66
now?
now, it got so
I
crazy.
don't know, I haven't mailed.
I got shocked when I was sending my holiday cards this year, I'm like, this is no longer like fun, like holiday notes, it's like an investment. Yeah, but,
Yeah.
okay, anything else?
All right, thank you.
No, I think you're good.
All right,
Thanks
nice
for
to meet
coming
you.
in.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
The penalty is $68.
Appeal number 3.
So, we're clear, you're taking that 270 times what?
Times .25 to find out what the penalty is,
Yeah,
Yes.
or times 1.25 to come up with the total, either one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Multiply times 1.25, then you don't know what the tax is, but
yeah.
I don't know how the rounding exactly works.
Yes,
but-
and then
So hers will
Right.
probably be like $340, and then you multiply that times, so if you wanna know what the tax bill's gonna be, multiply that times 0.27. It's $27 on every $1,000. So if you have a $340, right, that's a third, you probably owe like $9 in taxes on a $340 bill, right?
Yeah, it would cost
Yeah.
them more to mail it.
Mail it. I don't even know if you get a bill if it's less than $10. Let's
Want me to,
see if the next one's here.
She just asked them to leave the door open when they
yeah, I can
leave.
leave it open.
Hello? Hello?
This is number 3, is the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now we're getting into real estate.
Okay.
So that time is not till 5:30, so maybe they're not here.
Okay.
I was at the, town planning and zoning and building department today for some other matter, and I happened to see this document sitting on the building, permits desk, which talks about at 9 days from the issuance of a building permit, they close them out.
How many days?
I'm sorry, 9 years.
9
Sorry,
years,
9 years.
yeah.
You know, they consider it just closed.
So it's not.
And then it got me thinking about that
Yeah, that
previous
yeah.
one, and
What, was that 9 year, was that 9
No.
years?
I don't think so.
5
What
years.
she
Yeah.
said was what the assessor's office does and what the building department do are two completely different things. So if the assessor finds an opportunity or whatever to drive by someone's house and make their own decision that the work has been done,
Which should not be happening.
they do that. And that's why she was saying, how could they have closed out, they didn't close out the permit. Well, I want to actually go back and look
Yeah.
on that
So you
field
can call
card.
Carolyn or whatever.
I couldn't remember, she said, well, what's the address? We'll look it up right now. I'm like,
I can text
I
her.
couldn't remember. But, I thought that was interesting. So it's like the left hand and the right hand are doing two
Yeah,
different
which we
things.
knew
I
about
thought
the
they
9
went
years.
through the permit and looked to see what the buildings went in
That's
there.
exactly, or I thought that the actual closing of a permit triggers
Yes, them to know that.
Right.
them to know,
When
correct?
they get the CO. But
No.
no,
No,
they just decide it's time and they drive by,
yeah,
close it.
yeah, yeah, and that's where they came up with, you know.
I know it's a totally different database of, you
Yeah.
know, information,
Yeah.
not that they can't see each other's
I-
stuff, but.
New news to me.
That was, what was
Which
that? That
is-
was Oakwood.
It's very
That was on
presumptuous,
Oakwood.
because without going inside and asking the
Yeah.
homeowner, you know, how he's like, well, I haven't done this, I don't have doors on this, I don't have anything on that. It just seems very presumptuous just to assume it's all done, especially
Yeah.
if the permit isn't closed.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Well, and that could really.
Well, but on the other hand, you know, someone can just not, you know,
Ever close the
Yeah,
building
never
permit
close it,
because they
right?
don't wanna pay taxes
Right.
on it.
Yeah,
so.
but it's worth to me asking than to presume.
Yeah.
It always comes back to bite you when you go to sell. If it's within that 9 years,
Yeah.
to get it, you're
Yep,
pain in the neck.
yep. Oh, God, I'm trying to get a legal apartment legalized in Weston right now. Bathrooms, everything, never pulled a darn thing.
Oh, there's been entire rehabs of a house
The person who.
in recent years where the
Meeting comes.
contractor didn't pull any
I
permit.
told,
Yeah,
she told them to
nothing.
come at like
I know.
7:30 or something.
And for this one, you know, I said it's worth it to try to find, so we hired a
Wasn't
pseudo
very,
Jim
like,
Gillerin,
official.
who
Yeah,
does
you
Weston.
noticed?
Yeah.
There was
His name
somebody
is
on
Paul
the
Zeiss.
boat,
He's
so.
a building guy in Norwalk, if you ever need a non-Fairfield person. He's a little scatterbrained, but he's pretty good, and, you know, he's estimating, it's, you know, it's above a garage, so you need all that firewall insulation, because a car could explode, right? So you need to do that, different plumbing, this and that, but he's, it's gonna be under 10 grand to get a legal apartment, that's worth it.
Hi, are you
I
here
told
for
her.
the appeal?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Are you, Catamount Road?
Correct.
Okay, okay. Good, have a seat.
Thank you.
Welcome, and I'm just gonna read some information into the record, okay, to correct me if any of it's wrong. So your, the time is 5:23, your appeal number's 3, the property address is 1132 Catamount Road. The owners of the property are Tate and Jennifer Wingate.
Correct.
The town has your property valued at, $1,012,700, and you're asking to be reduced to $927,000. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we just kind of guessed at that.
That's what you put
our
on,
house is
that's
worth.
what you put on, that's what you put on the form.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and if you just wanna state your name into the record, and then Helene will swear you in.
Tate Wingate.
Jennifer Wingate.
Okay, and if you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God?
Yes.
Okay, if you would sign there, both of you. Great, thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can go ahead and state your case.
So, about a year ago, a friend of mine in Fairfield sold their house, and it sold for a few $1 million, and I was looking at his property taxes that he was paying, and he was paying around $17,000. I was like, how could that be? So I reached out to someone about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, and they said, well, the appeals process already ended because this was, let's say, March of last year. And so I'm, now that I'm on time, we went and did some research again and looked like our next door neighbor at 1160 Catamount Road. So exact same property. He has 2.12 acres. We have 2 acres, so we have slightly less in terms of acreage. I looked online. His land is assessed at $269,780, where our land is assessed at $282,660, even though we have fewer acreage, but it's essentially the same lot. And then we pulled up a couple other comps that were just in the area that have sold recently. 1699 North Street, 5,300 square feet. We're at 5,000 square feet. They're at 2.2 acres. We're at 2 acres. Their house is fully renovated. Unfortunately, ours is not renovated, and yet they're paying $17,309 in property taxes. We're paying $19,778. And then we just kind of pulled a couple other ones, 2780 Reading, 2031 Reading, 100 Lancelot, that were also recently sold, that were in the neighborhood, that were also paying in that $17,000 range for property taxes relative to us.
I'll tell you what, I agree with you that there are many, many properties at Greenfield Hill that are undervalued right now. But the criteria that we have to use for the Board of Assessment Appeals is sold from the October 1st, 2020, October 1st, 2019, October 1st, 2020 time period.
Okay.
And so as much as it makes sense for you to come in here and say, well, give it all the examples that you just gave us, we can't use that. What we have to use are sold properties during that base valuation period.
Okay.
So, we start our deliberations tomorrow night. If you think tomorrow that you could come in with some solds from that time period. And if you're confused, just go on the website, the assessor's website, and it'll explain all of it to you. So you need sold properties that compare.
2019 and
The closest you can
2020.
get to October 1, 2020, the best, because that's the valuation.
December 2012.
Oh, 2012, okay.
Mhm.
Got any friends that are real estate agents?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. They could probably pull them.
Yeah.
They have
can pull-
access to
Yep.
MLS data a lot faster than you will.
Mhm.
Okay.
So closest to October 1st.
I have to believe they're out there, I think you could probably find some, yeah.
Okay, and the comp should be the same, like we did acreage and square footage.
As close as you can, and try to, find the similar condition,
Okay.
So if you're
Yeah,
saying you're.
But if it's not, I mean, we don't live in tract housing.
Right.
So
I
if
mean-
it's not, you just state your, if you see some that are $1 million and you want to still try to get to your 927, then,
Yeah.
maybe it's a 5-bedroom and you're a 4-bedroom, maybe.
Or if somebody has a pool and you don't,
Yeah.
those are like what an assessor or an appraiser would just deduct from that, yeah.
Okay.
So,
And then what do we do with the information?
bring that to the assessor's office tomorrow, right? It would have to be tomorrow.
Are they gonna email it to the BAA?
Email it to us.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah,
We
we've
will get
gotten
it
that.
that way, right?
BAA.
There's also now a form online, believe it or not, where people can submit information to us. If they
Oh,
have not
oh,
seen
okay.
before.
Just email it
the
to what,
website.
BAA?
BAA@fairfieldct.org.
CT.org,
Mhm.
and we'll all get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then just, include your appeal number, which is 3, and your address. So it's clear what we're looking at.
Okay,
All right?
perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Call your realtor tonight.
Yeah.
If you would just leave the door open for the next person, thank you. It still amazes me that people have no idea how they're supposed to.
Yeah, they submitted 2 cards, I noticed. They submitted the 2020 card and the 2024 grand list card. I don't know why they got the 2020 unless they had it, why they
I
asked.
might have had it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
But I
sure.
mean,
Yeah, and the neighbor sold, for $790 in
To me, it should be like,
1998.
the old, stop, before you submit, confirm that you
Checklist.
have done this.
checklist.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just hard because they see their neighbors are paying less and they want,
Yeah.
everybody wants what their neighbor has, right? And you were
Right,
very good
okay.
to say, there's a lot of undersized property.
There are.
Your neighbor might be, you
Yeah,
might be right.
right.
Your neighbor
But
might
you
be
have to
too
prove
low.
it.
You have to prove that,
Right.
I want what my neighbor has.
Oh, tell you.
I'm sure.
But I mean, like what Carol said, even if you think, okay, I'm entitled to it because my neighbor has it, just the checklist, like 3 or 4, just check boxes. Did you produce this? Did you produce that? I don't know how else to get through to people.
I also don't know that the office is overly helpful when they bring it to the BAA. They don't say,
Yeah.
would you like me to
Pass
go
in
over
the
your
box.
card with you? Would you like me to explain to you how, assessments are done and
Yep.
how yours was valued so that people can,
I had a real.
That's what the building department is now with the new inspector. He is very customer
friendly.
focused. I mean,
Yeah.
he comes from that mentality.
I had a
I
realtor.
am serving you. And he tells his department, we are here to serve them. And he
It's a
said,
huge
remember when he came and spoke at the Board of Realtors?
Yep.
It was such a refreshing attitude.
What was I saying? Oh, I had a realtor text me last night and say, I think I'm still confused about how the appeals process works. He's like, how many times do we have to tell you?
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Too late.
yeah. Hmm?
No.
I know. He's very involved in what's going on.
Colin, can you hear that beeping?
Yes, it's right in my ear.
That's her.
Nothing I can do about it.
Okay, it's yours. Okay.
It's fine.
It's just getting
I'll try to get the
recorded.
nurse to fix
It's
it.
okay.
I'll try to get the
Yeah,
nurse to fix it.
no worries. It's getting recorded.
Yeah, my IV is beeping.
This quarter horse lion, what do they have?
I'll mute myself for now so we can, you know what, you guys do me a favor. Can you try not to talk at the same time because then I can't understand what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right, I'll mute myself now.
Quarter horse lion. Oh, this is Catamount.
And he did not say he knew how he came up with his number, right? The 927, they just guessed at their number.
Yeah. Sorry, what appeals next?
14?
It's at
This what?
number 14.
There you go.
Okay.
I don't know why I have all these in here. What time is it, required? What time is it supposed to be, this?
6:50, 5:50.
Oh.
I
we have
know,
lots
well,
of
we
time.
did 20 minutes,
Oh,
fortunately.
Gosh.
I know.
Got it. Please see enclosed.
So is there a delay?
yeah.
Well, the next appellant isn't until 5:50.
Okay, so while there's nobody there, I have to say, there was too much noise going on, so I didn't say it during the appeal. But I have a problem too with the thing about, oh, we'll send you the declaration or whatever it is, and then they don't send it. You know, I get it. It's your bill. You're supposed to know when to pay it. But if some people are getting it and some people aren't getting it, that's a problem. Because some people are given notice, reminder notices, and others aren't. And then they're fined because the state says you have to fine them.
I know.
So they need to fix their system or not fine anybody. Well, you have to because it's a state thing. But they need to fix their system.
That's the state. I mean, we, you know.
Can't do anything about that, I know. But they need to fix how they get those notices out.
Yeah. Well, and you know, in a case of Dr. Amoroso, I mean, he's been paying for 24 years on time. And he's, you know, he's very particular. He does it all himself. And he didn't get it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget sometimes if I don't get the bill.
Oh, yeah.
So just.
You know, I've forgotten
do the
stuff.
math again. I'm just looking at Quarter House. So
Quarter
they're, saying a 48, let's call it $49,000 difference in the appraised. So if I were to take 49,000 and times it by 0.7, that's 34 grand, right? And then times 0.0027. It's $92.
It's how much?
$92 in taxes.
$27 for every 1,000. Sometimes it's easier.
I'm just, pointing out, this appeal is for $92 in taxes.
No, that can't be right.
I just don't know if people are aware of, you know, whatever, I mean, $100
Yeah, they
is
got a reduction
$100 is
too.
$100, but.
They got a reduction in, they got a partial reduction in 2022, but because they've done work to their house, it went up.
Yeah.
So they
Okay,
wanted
so they
$1.8
can put back.
and we took them down in 2022 to $1,628,000, and then they went up to $1,705,000 from the $1,628,000, and they want to probably just add. Well, I looked at the thing. They also have a generator that's valued at $9,200. So there's 2 permits that got closed on here. One for attic. Right, there's 2 permits that were inspected, or whatever, it says inspected, in February of '24. One was a date complete 12/6/23 for a GN, which is a generator, that they had put in as a value of $10,750. So if you look on page 2 of the property card, you'll see the generator valued at $9,200. So they're probably not realizing that $10,000 of that's the generator. And then they pulled a permit for $50,000, right, in January of '24, and that, I think, date complete 2/7/24 is the attic work that
But
they
they're
did.
saying it only came in at 30 grand.
They're saying the attic, but they pulled a permit for 50. And I bet they didn't realize that the generator added value either,
So,
because they're, whatever they're saying. Yeah.
so what happens when, so you pull a permit for 50,000, it comes out to 30,000, then you should come back to the town and show them that it only costs 30,000?
I think so.
So you have
Or
to,
it's the, really, it's how you change the
Honestly-
sale value of the house. What did it do to the, they have to, these guys have to put some value on it, so they probably just look at the
it makes sense to do it more than what it costs. That probably happens a lot.
Yeah, how do these guys know that it only costs them 30? and/or, they pulled a permit for 50, so I'm guessing that's what the assessor's office did. Or maybe they just changed the finished square footage, and that changed the calculation, right?
Yeah, well, the town would not know it costs only 30,000 unless the homeowner came and showed the proof of that.
So I'm just trying to see how much, if you look on the back of the card, how much of that is the attic
What if
being
your thing
finished?
didn't cost much because you did all the labor yourself, but you added 1,000, I'm making this up, 1,000 square feet. Now your value is not
I
your material.
don't think the town,
value.
I'm sorry. I don't think the town counts it when you do the labor yourself. I think you still pay on the value of the labor. Because if I went in there and said, oh, my
Yeah,
brother
I hear
did
what
all
you're
the
saying.
plumbing,
Yeah,
they say, too bad.
regardless of
the
what your
plumbing-
receipts are.
Right, yep, the plumbing is valued at X. It doesn't matter what you paid.
I have heard that.
Did they submit their previous card? They didn't, right? And I don't know that we have access to the backup anymore to see what the finished square footage was previously. It was 2024. They also have two cards for some reason. Well, maybe because they have so many extras. There's a wood deck that goes on onto the second card. I'm not sure why. Oh, the building sub-area is just full, so that's why it creates a second card. But the generator's added appraised value of 9,200, so.
Water?
I'm good, I have a drink, thank you.
I'll leave it for that.
To highlight, the assessment for our entire home is approximately 66% of what we paid for it? What does that mean? Yeah, they bought it in March of 21 for $1,725,000. So that's like right after the valuation, right? I mean, they probably negotiated so the $1,705,000 was lower before. And that's when they appealed it. Wish we could deliberate on some of the personal properties and get them done.
I gotta tell you, those personal property things, they wear me out. I have no head for them. Most of the time, it's, they want the penalty removed, or they didn't do something right, we have to send them downstairs. I think they should have to go downstairs before they come to us.
Yeah. Well, most of them are coming in with I think we only had one who had not filled out her form at all. Was it Tabitha's Ice Cream maybe yesterday? The other ones tonight that got the penalty they had their decks with them.
I missed a couple of them. Did Louise Satora come in?
I think she withdrew, right, Carol?
She withdrew.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just about the penalty.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting this. So there's a $48,000, basically a $49,000 difference between their number and the town number. And so if their contention is that it only cost $30,600,
Well, they got this, so they're responding to something that said that. Then they want to highlight. This part is confusing me.
Yeah.
Because,
Let me read it again.
yeah, I mean, he doesn't know that assessments are 70% of the appraised value, because he's coming up with his own calculation. It's like, well, yeah, we
What
know
is-
that.
66.
Well, it's not 70, I don't know. He's, it's close to 70.
The change for the work done should be no more than 20,000 to, where'd he come up with that? Because the actual cost was 30,600. So why is he saying we believe the change for the work done should be no more than 20,216? Oh, he's taking 70%. Okay.
I know.
Oh, that's
I can't
30,000.
do assessments, I can only do appraised.
Yeah. But
He's
even,
looking at it a different way,
yeah.
you know.
You can't just take that little number, you gotta do the whole thing.
I wonder if we should be pausing the.
It is interesting if you, I almost think you should,
That's 1,396,600.
I almost think you should get the permits.
One, 628.
So Marie, what we used to have on the website for personal properties, it said declarations are mailed in September and are due by November 1st. If a business owner needs to request a 6-week extension, they have to put it in writing before November 1st. Connecticut law levies a 25% penalty assessment for failure to file, omitting property, or filing a deck late without having been approved by the assessor for a filing extension. And then they mail the notices at the end of January, right, once he signs the grand list, so that's why they already,
Okay, so that's how we're getting.
and they're already 3 months late by the time.
Yeah. Come on in, we're actually ready for you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Jack. It's my wife, Lauren.
Hi.
Thanks for having us today.
Carol, Helene, and
Kathleen.
Kathleen and Peter.
And Peter, and Paulette is on the speakerphone
Oh, yeah.
here.
Okay.
And you're being recorded too, so just.
Oh, wow, okay, so this is a different process than.
Yeah, last time it was, we met one person for our village.
Yeah, well, we don't have that many this year,
So
so.
we cut it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Next year will be different when they're reassessing next year. So I'm just going to read some information into the record, just make sure it's correct. So the time's 5:45 PM. Your appeal number is 14. The property address is 173 Quarter Horse Lane. The owners are John F. Thomas III and Lauren Abbott.
That was my maiden name. I'm Lauren Thomas.
Lauren
now, but
Thomas.
When we bought the house, I was still Abbott, yeah.
Okay, sure. And the town has your property valued at $1,705,800, and you're requesting a reduction to $1,656,879.
Yeah, yes,
Does
but
that sound right?
I guess our question was, just to open up, we saw that the change in assessment went up by 54,000. I mean, what does that comprise of?
Before we get into this, we do need to.
You want to swear them in?
Yes,
Oh,
sure. Yeah, so if you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. You would sign that.
You used Ronaldo.
Yes.
We did.
He's my painter. He's my go-to guy.
Is it? Yeah. We had a good experience with him.
He'll
More
never
than our
get expensive.
What's that?
He's got very reasonable prices.
Okay, thank you. You
He
can
does
read
great
that.
work.
He does. I love him. So what was your first question?
So our question was, we were aware that it went up by 54. We just want to get understanding of, how was it calculated? Is this pertains to the work that was done in the attic? We just weren't sure. That's the reason why we wanted to ask. We provided some documentation on the work that was done a year prior that indicated the true cost of the project, provided estimates. We had 4 checks that were cashed to Ronaldo and his team that showed the true cost of the project was $30,000. But we weren't sure if this pertains exactly to that. We presumed it was. It just was unclear.
Right, and you pulled permit, he pulled permit?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, first of all, 54 is the assessed, so, change, so divided by 0.7. Assessed is always 70% of appraised.
Right.
So that is a value of $77,000, just so you know. I know this is yours.
78,000.
Yeah, call it 78,000 appraised. So, not 54, 77.
Okay.
78.
The appraised is 78, the assessed was 54.
Assessed value for everything is always 70% of the town's appraised value.
Yeah.
That's what the
Understood.
taxes are based on assessed.
On the assessed,
I
right.
don't know why.
Right.
And using that assumption, a
Yeah,
few years
so
ago when we
we're-
came in, we used the assessed value ratio versus what we purchased for the home, and the board agreed, and they did lower the taxes. So what we'd like to understand is,
Like, yeah, where did that 78 come from?
For work that was 30. Assuming it's based on the work, because as you mentioned, next year is when the whole market will be reassessed.
Right.
right,
So if this isn't being reassessed based on market conditions, that's the only work that would make sense.
So how much square footage was, living area was added?
I think it's on our town card, it was about 480 something.
I think that's what it is, guys. It's not based, I could be wrong, I'm guessing it's based on the living
487.
area and not
You
the,
added 487
yeah.
square feet, finished, right?
Correct.
not the
Not brand new
value of
space.
the.
It was unfinished,
work.
it went finished.
Correct.
Okay, and that
It
was,
wasn't
it was
an
a-
addition.
it was an
Yeah.
attic.
and it was in the attic,
Yeah.
okay. And do you see on your field card where that number is?
Yes, if you go to the fields card, on the second page,
Mm-hmm.
in the table on the right side, the attic finished, the gross area is 1218, the living area is 487, it's the third line down.
Got it. And before it was just the,
It was just unfinished.
it was,
Yeah,
okay, so it was 0, okay. So you finished 487 square feet. Yeah. And then the other thing I think that happened, if you look on the front, you'll see the permits that were pulled in here,
Sorry, that was the front of
the front of your field card. Oh, do you have the card? Do you have it, the one that looks like this?
Oh,
This is
no, this is
generic.
the one that we had on the from the
Okay,
website.
well, it still might be wherever you saw the, okay, yeah, if you click in there's a box there and it'll bring up your, what's called your property card, which looks, it has a little bit more information, but one of the things it does is it tracks the history of some of the work that you've done on your house.
Okay,
So one of the other things that it looks like they also have is the generator.
right.
Looks like you added a generator, but that they didn't, the inspection date on the generator was February of 2024.
But the generator's on this as well.
Right, for 9,200. So they
exactly.
valued the generator at 9,200.
Right,
Right.
which is also, it was about $16,000 all in between the work and the generator itself.
Right.
which
So that
drives with
ratio
the
makes
ratio of
sense.
the assessment in the sevens,
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah.
I mean, we broke down a few years ago, it was 66, but we understand it's 70. So even if you take
It was 70 of the assessed.
70%,
That's
correct,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's what I mean. So even if you take that versus what the true cost of this was,
I don't think it's it's based on the cost. I think that was, I'm just saying, I think, I'm trying to back into this number, that it's probably based on you've added almost 500 square feet
Finished.
finished. And so like, if you take the 78,000 that they are figuring it out, I'm just doing divided by 500 just to be rough, it's like $156 a square foot. I mean, there, like, that, nobody builds for that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just thinking that's
Right,
what
and
they may
I'm
have
thinking
done.
like the difference between your 30,000 for your costs and the 78,000 that the town is telling you, the value is, that's a difference of $48,000. When you think about the amount of square footage that you've added to that house and what that is worth, it's probably accurate.
Yeah. They don't do it based on cost so much. I mean, it's a confusing model because it's.
It is confusing, because like, let's say you like did your cabinets or something, you know, your kitchen cabinets don't add square footage.
Right,
So
but
it's it's more like you have receipts and that's a value. When you add square footage, it's.
Living space, yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate you
not saying
explaining
it's
that. No, I
fair.
appreciate you explaining that to us.
I'm thinking that's what the assessor is
Let
thinking.
me pose a hypothetical situation then, right? Let's say I have a new home build, right? And an attic costs this, second floor costs that, first floor costs X, Y, Z. The attic in this situation is double the true cost of, well,
More
and
than
this is what
that.
they're assessing it at, right? They're double.
More than 2.5 times, if
Right.
it's 78, yeah.
Right, so if, let's say the attic was 30, it's being assessed at 78, my second floor is using the same ratio, the assessment comes in at close to double, my first floor comes in at close to double, that would basically mean that the total assessed value of the home is double what we paid for it. I've never witnessed that on a property card where the assessment is twice the value of the building of a home. It just doesn't make sense when you extrapolate it on an absolute level.
I mean, the hardest part is at the end of the day, they look at the total number at the end. It's a computer model, right? So they're multiplying square footage and they're looking at land and they're doing all kinds of things to kind of come up to it. But at the end of the day, it's what the value of that property is.
And I could be wrong, but I do believe the first and second floors are valued equally, but lower level is like a third, and I don't know what the third level is.
And
You
if
can ask them.
And if you have,
You have to ask, yeah.
you don't have full ceiling height on your attic, if you have slanted ceilings,
Correct.
you know, that'll be less too. So if you know,
But that
let's
would
say
be
you had 4
taken
floors.
into account on the
Yeah,
487.
yeah,
So
sure.
you might actually have 600.
right.
We're realtors, so we do this all the time, like,
Yeah.
You can
anything
go-
below 7 feet on the dormer side is not allowed to be considered living
Living
area,
area,
but
right.
you're using it. So like,
And-
we always advertise it, it would be like 600 or 700, but the town, you're only getting taxed on the 487.
And they
But
deduct a
that's their
percentage.
question.
The slanted ceilings like a cape or a third floor, they deduct from the square footage on that too.
Yeah.
So. could
You
be
can
good.
go into the office and ask them to show you the card and take out the finished square footage in the attic. And just say, pretend we didn't do it and it's 0. Now have the computer generate what our value would be. Now put it back in for the 487. And then they
Good
can
idea.
show you the difference of what that square footage does in the computer, right? Because it's math crazy,
I'd like to
right?
see that.
And the
I
second
know.
thing is I do believe the generator probably at the 9,200 is probably what's in there. And you also, it looks like you pulled the permit for 50,000. So that also could affect it. I don't know, but the assessor's
don't
office
know.
can tell you how the math happened in the computer. You know, our job as a board is to figure out, is your property valued correctly?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you came in and you appealed before with a value that you thought it was then.
Right.
And now you've
I mean,
done some,
thankfully,
and you've done
guys
some
agree.
work. You've added a
We're trying to use
generator
that
and
same
some square
rationale
footage.
for the project. Even if you look at the generator,
Right.
it's assessed lower than the true cost. It just seems odd that this one particular project, whether you take the totality of the home or even other projects that we've done, is being assessed at almost double and the ratio is typically lower.
More than, it's more than 2.5 times. I mean,
What you spent.
what we spent.
Right,
Yeah.
so you pulled a permit for 50.
So we asked about that because Ronaldo pulled the permit, and we saw it and we said, why does it say 50? We paid 30. And he said, that comes from the town. The town says,
Yeah.
that's not a $30,000 project, that's a $50,000 project. And I was like, but the value of something is what two people agree to buy and sell it at, right? So the value of this work was $30,000.
Did you go back to the town and say, here are receipts, it only costs $30,000?
This is the first time we've had the chance,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also like,
I would just,
And
if
also
you
ask
go
the assessor to recalculate the card. Just tell them,
Yeah.
put a 0 in there, or anybody who's down there, it doesn't have to be the assessor, like the
Yeah.
assistant or whatever. Go in, put 0, generate a card, tell you what the dollar difference is, and then put the 487 square feet finish back on the card and show you the dollar difference based
Yeah.
on the computer model, right? And
But
then
for
you can
them,
see-
should we ask them to do that tomorrow and then email us
I would
that
do it tomorrow.
information?
yeah, because I think the
Yeah.
process has been a bit unclear to me,
And
frankly.
we thank you for your guidance. We weren't sure if this was final or if this was a preliminary stage. We were kind of lost. We were just, you know.
Yeah, no, this is, so 2 things, do what Kathleen just suggested, and then also
Tomorrow.
bring your receipts for the 30,000 and see if that makes a difference.
Okay.
You know, because they gave the number of 50,000, but it really cost 30. So,
And it was,
See
it
if
was
it
a
makes a
conversation between our contractor and Pat.
Uh-huh.
So we weren't privy to this, but our contractor said, no, this is what happens. They just say it's worth this much. But
yeah.
now we're realizing that maybe we should have stepped into that conversation, even though our contractor kind of advised
I
that
really
this is
think it's
normal.
square footage and
I
not
do
your
too.
I do
receipts
too.
for permits
I think it's
at all,
the
but I
generator
don't
and the
know
square footage,
I
that's
mean,
what I
you
think.
maybe will get a slight deduction with the 30 to 50, I don't know.
Well, you
but-
need to get back to us at
Yeah.
BAA, what is it, BAA?
Yeah, write down our,
Yes, if you
email
wanna
address.
come back before we deliberate. So that's what I'm saying, if you could do it tomorrow and then get back to us, and
Okay.
then if you email, it'll come to all of us.
Okay, so do we physically come here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You can go to the office
Yeah.
if you want
Yeah.
them to
Downstairs,
generate
in the
downstairs.
assessor's office.
And
Okay.
explain it to you, so that you understand how how the computer added the 78,000. That's what you're asking for, right?
Right.
You wanna understand that.
Right, because we just got this letter
Right.
with, and we're hypothesizing that it's the attic because we know you haven't changed the
Right.
real estate appraisal, but it doesn't
They
say.
can't change it. Yeah, they can't just
Yeah.
change it randomly,
Yeah.
especially
Right.
since you got a reduction last time.
Right,
And because you did
because we
work,
did 2 permits.
because you did pull
Right.
permits and you did work, then the office can change it.
Understood,
Yeah, so you
okay.
can ask them how it's, again, they put numbers in, it comes out. They don't just sit there and make stuff, they don't make stuff up, so.
Right,
Some
So
of
We
them,
don't have access to that, we
Yeah.
don't, we can't,
Yeah.
I wish we could tell you, we can't.
they can
Maybe
show
we
you.
find another meeting that comes up as a bit of a, it gets in the way of trying to do your job, basically,
What's that?
not having access to this information,
Oh.
how it's calculated.
Well, for us, we just want to, I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to know, is the market value correct? Like, all these little details
Right.
add, noise and numbers and everything, but at the end of the day, we want you to tell us, do you think it's a fair market value on your property?
Yeah.
Not how much you
Yeah.
spent,
Not how
but
much
is
you
it,
bought it.
right,
paid.
that's irrelevant. What's relevant for the most part is, if it's sold.
And for the most part, we deal with comps.
Oh, my God.
People are pulling
Right.
sold
Right.
comps,
Sold
they're saying,
Right, that's
my
what we
house
did
is
2 years
not
ago on the
worth
old
$1
one.
million, it's
Yeah.
worth, $850. Here's the pulled comps from 2019 and 2020. Now, we're dealing with
right,
the
the
previous,
prices then, yeah.
and
Right.
this is why. So this is an unusual,
Okay.
Yeah.
situation where
Right.
you've tweaked
The
your
other-
square footage.
The other thing, so we watched the hearing from, when we were successful in
That was
lowering it
2 years ago?
2 years ago, correct? And one of the comments from one of the board members at that time was,
I have it right here. Yeah, 1,628,000 is what we took you down to, right?
correct? Yep.
Right.
And one of the comments from one of the board members during that deliberation was not to use price per square foot as an indicator.
Right.
So then if, in this situation, we're using square footage,
Well, that's the assessor.
Right.
We as a board, one of us made that comment, because unless it's really new construction, 3 of us are realtors, so we
Right.
often say things like that of market value, only because usually if it's new construction, we tend to use dollar per square foot. Other than that, we really don't.
You don't,
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess for us,
That
looking at this, we wouldn't have thought,
about
it's
square
probably
footage.
because of
Yeah.
square footage, because we didn't believe
Yeah.
that
I-
the board
We were going off
used square
percentage
footage.
of assessed and appraised, and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why you're confused.
It's very
but
Yeah.
that's- The square footage is with the assessor. That's what you need to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, again, on the process with the assessor, do we just show up, or we should call
Yeah,
them
it's
first?
open, you can go in.
Yeah.
And then they,
Just
true
normal
that
business
you'll
hours
be there,
tomorrow?
they can actually show you how they change the numbers on the computer and what that result is.
Okay.
I mean, is what they tell us just gonna be a number that spits out, and they're like,
Well, then, whatever they tell you, email us
Report
back
back
and
to us.
tell us what they said.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so you need this information to make it better?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
I got it.
So when we start the deliberations, we have a better picture.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're asking to go to 1,656,000, right? That's where you want to be.
Because that's the,
1,660,000.
using the same proportion on the cost of the work done.
Right.
So it's using a ratio, basically.
And you included the generator in that.
We did not, because the generator is already on the town card.
But was it last year?
I don't know.
So ask them if the generator was put on, because they can show you last year's card.
Okay, it was, I mean, the permit was issued in 2023, so.
Right, but if the work wasn't finished, it looks, looking at the card, I mean, I can show it to you, it looks like they didn't put it on. Right here, generator 2724 and finished attic area 2724, that's in the notes in your card.
Okay,
So
yeah, I
chances
think
are,
it's
they didn't put
because
it
I
on
had this
until
other-
February of this year, and that's why it's showing up now.
Understood,
And the
okay.
generator has value, right? I mean, they value it at 9,200, that's where you see the generator on the.
There's not always, I know what you're looking for exact, if this, then that, and it's not always the case. You know, I see this a lot with pools. So someone will put in a new pool, and they'll tell me, you know, we always hear, well, how much is a pool now? A couple $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go to the field card, it's usually like 50 or 60. So, to the opposite.
Right.
The town is valuing that massive pool and landscaping and hardscape that cost them, you know, $250,000, much less. So that's an example where I can't explain that.
Right.
It's not, I'm sorry, we're not giving you good answers.
No, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate the clarity and also knowing about this other card, because the one I have is much more
Yeah, if you look in the
high
box
level.
online, you can click and it says show the field card, and then it will show you the full card.
Okay.
You just won't be able to see last year's without
Yeah.
going
And
into
then,
their office.
is this the one where I just did the math real quickly on the taxes?
Yeah.
So you get an appreciation for what you're talking about, right?
The
When I just did it?
Yeah, 54,000, you wanted to know what the taxes are on 54,000. That's the assessed value.
That's the increase. Oh, right, so the 78 was total, and then, right?
Yeah, assessed
So then
54, which is
the
what they,
54
right.
Yeah, so 54.
I'm glad you're also confused by the two of them.
Plus they both begin with letter A.
Exactly, I was like
Times
going crazy.
the mill rate. I have $145
A year?
taxes.
Taxes per year?
Yes, so, like, I'm just, to put things in perspective.
Okay,
Okay.
that's actually very
I
helpful,
just want
yeah.
you to,
That's very helpful.
Right,
if
okay.
I did that right.
Ivy,
Did I do that right?
I didn't do the math, but you do.
The mill rate is like 27 something
It sounds-
per 100,000, so.
That sounds low though, because if our home is valued at 1.6 odd, and we're paying, call it 30-something thousand in taxes, an extra 100,000.
It's not an extra 100,000.
Oh, because it's
Half
a
that.
54, right?
Yeah.
It still sounds low. And I'm just thinking
$27
proportionally.
$27 on every 1,000, if you think of it
Yeah.
that way. So if you add 50,000, whatever 50 times 27 is. Say you're about $50,000
Right.
assessed increase, and it's $27,000. $27 on every $1,000.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's
that,
helpful.
Multiply the 50
that's
times,
more,
That's
right?
27
27 times 50
whatever that,
is gonna be,
it's late and my math doesn't do well in my head.
that's gonna be like 1,250. Like 1,250, I think.
Can you do it? Do the math.
27
times the mill rate.
Wait. 27 times what?
54.
Yes.
1458.
Okay, so it's meaningful per annum, yeah.
My apologies.
No, that's fine. I was like, but
Yeah.
that would have been, if that was the case, then,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's 14.
less
Yeah,
worth it,
It's not
but-
.002, it's .02.
okay.
Yeah, that's why sometimes it's easier to think of it as $27 on every 1,000.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
I assume you guys have dealt with this before. I mean, a lot of people do work. Have people come in and have had the same, kind of issue where they've seen the assessment come in at close to double the true cost of the work?
Most, like Carol said, most of what we see is,
Overall.
real estate value, overall, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is your property worth what the town has it at?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get this information for you and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah,
Can you,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, tell me the email address again?
Yeah, BAA at
FairfieldCT.org.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something.
Oh, that's
Hello?
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a couple
I
of
can
things.
hear you.
A couple of things. When you go to town hall, you might want to go to the building department and ask them how they put that value on your property, the value of what they think it costs. They're the ones that do it. Ask them if they have a book or some kind of a scale that they use or something from the state that they didn't just pick it out of their nose, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
50,000.
Right. And secondly, yes, the assessor, go in there and talk to them, see what information they can give you. Watch them and make sure you ask them exactly how they did it. Because, by the way, they do make stuff up. Because they use formulas that we don't have access to. And in those formulas are ways that they do things that we don't have the ability to do. So you want to know how they got to where they got, and not just let them spit something out of the computer and tell you, oh, here it is, not good enough. That's just my advice. Because if it were my money,
Okay.
if it were my money and it was $1.50, I wouldn't want to pay it, and I wouldn't pay it. So we don't need to overpay taxes. That's all.
Okay.
I agree with that, thank you.
You're welcome.
And more a logistical question, the building department and the assessor's office are both in this building? No, okay.
Yeah, next door, right?
Building's over there, assessor's down here.
Okay.
They're in the same building.
I dealt with,
No,
Building's over in, Sullivan.
Oh, they moved them?
you know that.
They're where they always
No,
were.
building, right, but the assessor's office is here in
Yeah.
this building.
Is in Old Town Hall.
2 different buildings,
Oh, okay. If you say so.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. My mistake. Yeah, you gotta go to 2 different buildings. My mistake.
okay. But we can just walk in to
Yeah.
both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But building,
If
get
you're
there
gonna go-
early.
Okay.
Right. If you're gonna go to the building department, go early. Go before 10 o'clock.
Go, yeah.
All these
I went
assessors go
today and
out.
everybody was there, around
Yeah.
2.
Pat and I got very close during the generator project, so I'll make sure he's there when I go.
Yeah.
All right, well, we
have
look
to
forward
work
to
with
hearing from you.
And,
No, thank you for the clarity, it was really helpful.
We'll certainly get back
Yeah,
to you. We
well, I'm
appreciate your time.
we're very curious to hear what they say.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time.
You love your 3rd floor?
We do.
do, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we actually really do.
Okay.
Had we had known is that they really gotten fixated on the 50, it didn't even come up to us.
Yeah.
It feels arbitrary, it is subjective.
It is a mass appraisal system, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I wish we had known to push back more at that time then, if that was the case, because it sounded like that was just kind of the way things go, but now we're seeing the consequences of that.
Well,
Yeah, and the contractors just want to get the permit
Of course.
to start the work, so, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you
Really
so much.
appreciate it. Have a nice evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again for your time.
What happened to that guy with the baby?
No, he was with the woman that came in. He was just waiting out in the hallway. Yeah.
There's somebody
Yeah,
else
I'll
here.
order one out.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Come on in. Want to have a seat down this end over there? All right, thanks. Are you here for 205 Hoyden Hill?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh,
Hi, and I'm just going to read some information into the record. One of our board members is on the speakerphone here, and you're being recorded, okay? So,
Hello.
hi, yeah, that's Paulette. So, and just correct me if any of it's wrong. So your appeal number
Hello.
is 18, property address is, can you hear us? Paulette? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It's
I can hear you.
205 Hoyden Hill Road. The owners of the property are David and, can you pronounce your name? Gia Starno? Okay. The town has your property valued at $1,043,600. You're requesting a reduction to $834,880.
Correct.
Is that accurate? And that's appraised value. I just want to make sure you're talking in the same dollars the town is talking,
Yep.
right? Not assessed. Okay. And then Helene's going to swear you in.
If you'll raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to help you God?
I do.
Would you mind? Here's some pens. It's fine.
Feel like I'm at work with a red pen.
You won't be in trouble. I'll mark up on an exam.
Usually when I'm writing the red pen, people are getting in trouble.
There you go.
thank you.
Okay, you can go ahead and state your case.
Okay, so about a year or two ago, we were contacted by a representative from United Illuminating.
Oh, boy.
They have an easement on our property. They're doing upgrades to the line from Weston to Bridgeport, as I'm sure you've probably heard about 1,000 times by now. They were going to be adding a new pole next to our house that wasn't there before. It supplied the map that they gave us that shows the new pole addition on it. If you can find it, it's this funky looking thing here. And there was not a pre-existing structure there. There was a long distance between the prior poles. That was a justification, and we were powerless to do anything about it. They basically just gave us the big, we're doing it anyways, we don't care what you think, and now we have a 120-foot pole next to our house.
And they pretty much took out the stone.
They took out,
right?
yeah. We had a stone area there off to the road on Hoytons Hill. They took that out, made a road there. It's been a nightmare because we keep having people trespassing on our property. It looks terrible.
Is this it right here?
That is it, yeah. I couldn't get a good picture because when you're driving up, it's towering over the trees. When you get close to the trees, take up more space. I took a picture from the road. I mean,
I thought the one from the back was a better picture, like looking down towards your house.
Yeah. So the trees weren't quite in the way from. Yeah. I tried getting it from way down the road, but the pictures didn't come out any good because with my cell phone. This hangs over the house. It's an eyesore, and
It's fairly close.
We absolutely hate it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I said it brought people onto our property. Our oldest one has little anxiety problems, fear. She's had to deal with a lot of people there. It's not been a good experience for us.
Like what people?
Yeah.
So we've had citizens come there that aren't supposed to be there. We've had, of course, workers. We had a social media influencer show up and start taking pictures with
He just parked the car on the road.
Yeah, he's a Toyota social influencer. Parked his car up on in there and started taking pictures. When we said we're going to call my neighbor said we're going to call the police. He apparently he knew the drill. He had been through it before, and so he stayed and he met the police and they let him. I'm not a person that wants people to get in trouble, but at the same time I don't want people on my property. So we got him to leave. The police got him to leave the property, but he got his pictures. He got everything he needed. He knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. We've had just people on bikes. They finally just put a gate up for us, not in the position that we wanted. So where that, I can sort of see from the last picture, it's on the landing, and you see how it slopes down? Well, it slopes down in all directions. Mm-hmm. So we finally got a gate put in, if you're looking at this picture, to the right. Now, the road's to the left. You cannot see the gate from the road, but there is a gate there so people can't go further into our property. But they still come up here where this is. People have a curiosity. They don't really care.
It's so interesting to me because Hoytons Hill is not necessarily a street that people are just walking on,
Correct.
So do they park their cars and then walk up?
They drive on there.
They drive.
They drive on there.
There's a new road,
Yeah.
So it's actually a road that was cleared from Hoytons Hill up to this.
They drilled through the
Is it
stone
gravel?
mountain.
It's dirt right now. I mean, they put down some of that grass stuff, like that spray grass stuff.
Yeah.
It hasn't really taken well. They put it down in the fall. But
I highly doubt it'll prevent anybody really from driving on, right? Because it's not trees or any.
So they see this road and they think it's potentially a public road.
Yeah. And human curiosity.
It doesn't really go
Where
anywhere.
the road leads to,
Right.
enough people go by, somebody's bound to be curious enough.
Oh, boy.
And you have 5.5 acres? How many acres do you have?
5 2/3, I think,
Okay.
approximately. Yeah.
And you have a separate outbuilding. I just want to make sure your cards are correct, right?
Correct,
You also have another, is it a rental unit or?
We have a rental unit.
You have a rental unit, okay.
And we have our garage is attached.
Okay.
Yep.
So where this road was carved out, was that all heavily grown, with
It was
trees
rock.
there?
It was,
Was-
Nobody would go up
You couldn't
there.
go up there.
It was rock.
It was rock, they cut the
They
rock.
blasted through the rock
Yeah.
to get there.
That's where their easement was.
Yep, they can, they can do what they want. If they won that case with the railroad, there's no way we were gonna stop them,
Yeah. So now they want to maintain that road for the purpose of having access to
They wanna
that?
have access for future repairs. They cut down a lot of our trees.
I was gonna ask you,
which
yeah.
we were not
So
very
a lot of
happy
the
about.
trees are gone.
Yes, so they are gonna give us some trees, they said, little ones,
And more
which
to
will
like-
take,
like
20 years to
partially
grow.
block
But
them.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it takes a long time.
Yeah, but that's even been a hassle. Oh my God, it's been a nightmare. And I say to the laborers, I'm like, look, I know you're not the one making the decisions. It's not you. You're just the one facing us that has to deal with all the bullshit.
Right.
And she seems like a nice girl, but she doesn't make the decisions.
And the poles, just so I understand, the poles are out on Hoyden's Hill, or they're in the back of your of the 5 acres? Where are they?
So there is
They're on the left side as you head up Hoyden's Hill, right?
If you're heading up, yes, we're on the left side if
Yeah.
you're heading from Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And they go back, I mean, the next pole is somebody else's property. It's
Behind
pretty
you,
far.
so it goes in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But there was a pole there before.
That pole was pre-existing.
But there's
They
one
replaced
here.
it, yeah.
Okay.
And tell me about the difference, between the 80-foot wires and the...
So the 80-foot wires really weren't a problem. We never saw them because the trees blocked them for 9 months of the year. And we saw them in the winter, but you're not as concerned in the winter with that. And there was no pole there to see, so it was just these little skinny wires, Now, the wires are above the trees, and the pole is gigantic, and, plus, we sleep on that side of the house. We always have that in our back of our head, because God forbid anything fell, it could hit us.
Literally, it's to the distance, almost, it'll fall on the house, like if it ever falls.
Which I don't think it will, but you never,
That's
100%,
yeah.
you always have it in the back of your mind.
And how did you come up
Yeah.
with the new value of $834,000?
So I looked at, honestly, I used AI.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm no expert in all this stuff, and it said 10 to 30%, and so we took 20%. Figured that was in the middle.
Okay. So you took 20% off the town's value?
Correct,
Reduced it
yeah.
by 20%?
Yep. Yeah, it's on the document just behind the map. I don't know a lot about this stuff, so.
I read it.
I would say you could be the first user of AI to come with their...
Cover the board of
First we've heard.
Well, it's funny,
that one.
the company I work for, the boss is all about technology. We're always looking for ways to be more efficient, to be more productive.
Yeah.
And it's, instead of going through books and whatever,
Right.
and,
Well, that's what AI is doing, it's going through the books for you.
Right.
Exactly,
Pulling
yeah.
all the data.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't have any sales data to support that number, it was just AI?
I don't know how
Yeah.
they would have sales
There
data.
There's not a lot of
is no
comp
sales
for our
data.
kind of
This is
program,
a new
for our kind of
phenomenon
property
in our
and
town.
this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is really kind of out of the ordinary for what we're used to looking at, so.
Right.
No, I know you can't comment on other cases or appeals, but I'm sure you've had other people with this kind of poles next to their house.
You would think we'd have a lot of
Yeah.
them. I'm surprised we haven't had more, because if I lived on Congress and I had that next to me, or I lived on Hoyden's Hill, or I lived on, not Stratford Road, what is it? Eastern Turnpike.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yep.
I really feel for you.
The construction's been a nightmare too when they.
I'm surprised you all haven't come together.
Well, there wasn't much we could do.
Yeah.
I know.
Some people wanted to, but when we looked into it,
When they communicated it, that additional pole was like very,
yeah, they were a little shifty about, a little quiet about it.
it couldn't be
trying to-
less obvious
put one
that there
past
was
the
gonna
goalie.
be a new pole in,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
So-
and they never verbally mentioned.
So did they give you, numbers on the output of electricity or whatever it is that, the, whatever
The
it's
hertz or whatever,
emitting?
or,
Yeah, megahertz, whatever. The difference between what was there before and what's there now?
I think, they haven't, I'd assume, I know they changed the lines, so I've got to assume it's.
Well, it's gotta be
bigger
more
capacity.
powerful, that's
It must
why,
be,
yeah.
yeah, those lines were apparently 75 years old before, that's what they told us, and that's the useful life of them.
Yeah,
So they said, we have to do this now,
Yeah.
not like we were gonna be able to stop them.
And real estate honestly has always been affected negatively by having the towers or the lines behind your property or within close proximity to your house. So the fact that now this is even bigger and you could see it and it's an eyesore, it's definitely affecting your property.
I remember when we were looking at a house before, there was a big tower
Years ago,
right next to it, and I'm like, I'm not buying this house.
There's a cell tower on Woodhouse, and that house could not be sold with a
Oh.
mortgage, only cash. The lender didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
And
But that was a cell tower.
what do you get for rent for your,
2,300,
a month?
yep.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have
Oh,
to
you're
interrupt.
renting it.
Hello?
No, we.
They have a separate.
Hold on one sec, Paulette.
Building on their property.
Yeah, we
Oh,
have
They have a building
extra
anyway,
structure.
so that adds value
The
to their
history of the
property.
property is that the guy who built it, who lived there before us, was an architect. I'm sorry, a Greenwood construction guy, and it was his architectural office, that he built there, which was not properly zoned. He got
Thank you.
caught and he made it a rental. That's what, my understanding, what I've been told.
Paulette, you have a comment?
Yes, I do. First of all, yes, I do. This man is not here to discuss his apartment, so we need to stop questioning about apartments. That's not why he's here. He's here to talk about a pole that went up that destroyed his property. So let's keep to the topic.
Paulette, can we
and
have
stop
that
fishing.
conversation?
I'm not finished yet. And stop fishing for ways to make money for the town. His apartment has nothing to do with this appeal. So I'd like that line of questioning stopped. And sir, if I were you, I'd have asked for a lot more than 20% off for the mess that they made out of your property.
Thank you.
As the chairman, I think I have the right to request that we stop.
I just wanted to work with you guys. I don't want to come off as a greedy SOB.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, we appreciate your situation, and we start our deliberations tomorrow night. So we will take all of this into account. And then within a week, you'll have your letter and tell you how we deliberated.
Okay, we'll either decide tomorrow night or next Wednesday night. Those
Yeah.
are our 2 nights.
Okay.
And the letter, we have to notify you within 7 days. So you're gonna get your letter.
Appreciate it.
Okay, one more thing.
Good work.
One more thing. Would this gentleman, would you consider getting an appraisal?
I mean, I could, yeah.
I mean, it'll cost you some money. I don't know exactly how much they are. It'll cost you at least $300, maybe $500. But if you can get an appraisal and you want to submit it to us, we would then be able to do, it'd have to be fast. The appraiser would have to be willing to do it right away because we would need it by the latest next Wednesday. And we'll do what?
I mean.
So we're reassessing next year, so if you're gonna do it, I would wait and do it for next year. Because then it's good for 5 years. If you get, any reduction we're gonna give you today is only good for
This year.
This year. Then, and the reassessment, the new numbers are gonna come out in December. And
Actually-
and then those are good for 5 years, so.
Actually, if he did it now, okay, it could be for both years because isn't that from 24 to 25?
Yeah, you're looking at
reval?
October 1, 25.
Right, so
If
he
the
would, that
market
would still be,
completely changed between now and
I'm talking now. Okay, I'm talking now. Hello? Oh, I'm talking now. Well, then don't talk when I'm talking. So, Kathleen has a point. It'd probably be better to wait till next year. But by lowering it now, you lower the base that we start from for next year. That's totally up to you. So you can make that decision yourself. But if you want to do it, we can move you to your deliberation would be next week. So that would give you a little time to do it.
I'm not going to be here next week. I'm on a work trip.
Oh, you don't have to be here. You could just email it to the board, and we would then wait. But we wouldn't do your deliberation tomorrow night because you wouldn't have enough time to get it by then.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, that's totally up to you. You could do whatever you want with that, but.
Okay.
And I appreciate your not being greedy, but it's just that, I think it's our job to tell you what we think you can have based on the fact that, well, if you had an appraisal, it might be better. But, that's up to you. That's one of the mechanisms. So, okay, I'm done.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, we're pretty amateur with all this, if you can tell. Like, yeah.
Everyone is.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Yeah, except for like real estate people, I guess. Yeah.
Even realtors are confused by it. Some, yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are, I mean, I work in the design field, although I'm an accountant for it. So I meet people that are the creatives like that when you have creatives that sell houses, they're probably not good at this.
And I know your house, I've been driven by it
Beautiful.
sometimes, it's so pretty.
Oh,
It's a
thank
pretty,
you.
pretty house, yeah.
It needs a paint job. That's what we gotta do next, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you for coming.
appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
One more thing, guys, one more thing. Helene.
Yes. Yes.
Since his property seems to have made a dramatic change in appearance, don't you think somebody should go take a look at it? The outside of it. Drive by.
I have driven by.
Very good photos.
Yeah, I've driven by that many times. I'm well aware. I know exactly where his house is.
So you know exactly, okay, as long as
anybody
we're clear
has
on what it really
not,
looks like.
It should. Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Okay.
There
All
haven't
right.
been any changes, any material changes since we've been there 7 years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we do need to paint it. That's our,
But if you haven't, you know, it's really worth a drive by. Yeah.
Beautiful.
we got lucky getting that one.
And.
5.5 acres too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
ponds, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, we got lucky. Lucky timing, that's all.
Well,
Yeah.
until you didn't go lucky.
Yeah, well, sometimes, as I said to her, we're not allowed to have like.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel bad for you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Howard. Appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
Oh, you too. I mean, I'm shocked that we haven't had all of them in here.
We had some last year, didn't we, I think?
Yeah.
What,
One on
two?
Congress. One on Congress.
Not much.
Okay.
And Eastern Turn.
Next one is 318.
Maybe it's such a sore subject, I don't wanna think about it.
I mean, he was so good-natured about it.
But to
Five
be
days,
fair,
three.
having a rental unit on a property adds value to the property, right? We all know.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, at the end of the day, we're talking about the value of the property, whether he can sell it or not, right? What the market value of the property is with the pole.
Yeah, well.
I'm not disagreeing.
In my mind, the only issue here is that pole. I mean, they valued the property with the rental, and that's what the town said, but now with that impact of the pole, that's what we have to decide. How is that
Rental
impact?
property with the pole, right?
It's the whole package, so it's the whole $1,043,600. How has that been impacted?
Right.
What percentage do we reduce that value?
I agree.
Hi, come on in. Everyone's waiting so politely.
Hi. Have a seat.
Okay, Hello.
So,
We got 4 of us and one, on the speakerphone. Yes.
probably Edwin. Is it Edwin or Edwing?
Edwin. There's no G.
There's
Yeah.
no G in it. And I'm just gonna read some information into the record, and if you can just tell me whether it's correct or not. Your appeal number is 19. The property address is 318 Pine Creek Avenue. The owners of the property are Wendy and Edwin Levine. The town has the property appraised at $2,370,400, and you're requesting a reduction to an appraised value of $1,477,365.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to swear you in, so if you just raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay, if you would sign there.
Is that okay, Red?
What's that?
Is this
That's fine. You're not in trouble. Okay, you go ahead and tell us why you're here.
Yeah, so, it just seems that the land appraisal isn't consistent with the neighbors in the neighborhood.
And looking over the comps, and I provided a bunch of them, it looks like that they ranged from 28 to 62% lower than the appraisal we received. And I looked at the property, so Pine Creek Avenue, the beginning of Pine Creek Avenue is on the water, unobstructed.
First 11 houses, I think.
What?
I think it's the first 11 houses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the remainder, the second half is on the creek. So, and it's there's the creek, and then there's Fairfield Beach Road, so there's a partially obstructed view there. So I looked at one house, so I'm on the creek. I looked at one house that's that's on the unobstructed part, and I used that as one of the comps, and then and that house is also newly remodeled after my house too. I know I didn't want to bring up the house part, so I'm just talking about the land, because it just seems like that's a significant discrepancy. And then looked at a bunch of them that are on the creek, and just compared and looked at the property that for comparable property. So I don't know if you want me to go through the ones that I have. I mean, I just sort of have a handful. It looks like two.
These are properties that sold, or just
These
other
are just the
properties?
land. These are properties that have the land, that just have I have their field cards.
Okay.
And just looking at the field cards, and like it was pointed out to me, now I don't know what this is, the location adjustment. I mean, it looks like all the other location adjustments are PC2, and then one, I don't even know what that is. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant. And then the one that's not on the obstructed area is PC8, and mine is PC5, and it has I don't really know why my property, there's a different designation, or why the land is valued at differently.
So Wendy, I appreciate your looking into, other properties along that same stretch, but here's the criteria that we have to use in making our determinations, and that is we have to use sold comps that go back to the base valuation year. And so you try to get your comps as close to October 1st, 2020 as you can. There's the whole year, October 1st, 2019 to October 1st, 2020. So if you are able to get sold comps for us that show that the value of those properties is lower than what the town is telling you yours is, then we can look at those sold comps and make a decision from that.
So the sold comps look at, because it just, obviously I'm not a real estate agent, I really don't know how to look at.
Do you have a realtor who can help you?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like this was so stark, and I don't really know what that PC is even.
Yeah, I looked into this a little bit ahead of time, so I can explain it a little bit if you want. One of the ones is a comp. There is a sale at 262 Pine Creek Avenue, sold on October 23rd, 2020 for $2.1 million.
And 262 is
262 is waterfront, right?
Waterfront, unobstructed waterfront.
Unobstructed waterfront, right. And that sold for $2.1 million. Okay. So the difference, if you look, the location codes, see the adjustment that's next to it?
Mm-hmm.
See that? So the PC5 has an adjustment code of 3.2, and the PC8 has an adjustment code of 1.8.
Right.
So it's trying to explain it in the simplest way. And then you also have a neighborhood code of 68, which happens to be the Pine Creek area.
Which
So
everyone should have that one.
that's right. Everybody in your area has that. And then different ones have different ones depending upon, so this sort of bumps up the value of the land. So a PC5, I don't know if it's exactly multiplying by 3.2 because the math doesn't work, but in other words, a higher number here is going to bump up the land value significantly more. So you look at the PC5s, they have a 3.2, where a PC8 is a 1.3.
Yeah, but
so that's why.
But what is that?
They're different.
Why would I be designated something different than my neighbors?
That's a good. Well, the neighbor to your west is a PC5. All the neighbors to your east. In other words, you're the last PC5. Everybody else
Well, I have
is
two,
PC8 to the right of you.
I have
to the east of you.
282, and it's not. I have 282 right here, and they have a PC8.
282.
And that is adjustment 1.3. I would take that over 3.2.
No,
I don't-
I'm wrong about that. Okay, I thought everybody had them. So which one? 280?
But I'm on the.
282 is a
282,
piece.
that's the only-
It's a smaller lot. You do have a really big
Yeah,
lot,
but this
too.
is the
so that could
adjustment
be-
that is multiplied by it. I'm on the creek. I'm on the creek, I have a dock, I have other houses that are on the creek that have
That's a
docks.
PC8, okay.
And I'm not sure what, it seems like I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like it's I know that you had said that about the sale, but I'm not sure that this, just the designation, because I did talk to my real estate lawyer. I'm like, could you help me with this? Because he's like, I don't know what that is, but that is the difference of these property.
What does PC stand for, Kath?
Pine Creek.
Pine Creek.
Oh,
So just like if you see like, Winton Park is like a WP something or other, and they have different codes and it adjusts the land.
yeah.
So the other possibility that I'm not telling you that it's right, but another reason that you might have the higher number is because you have such a big lot.
Yeah, but
You
then
have
it
a
gets
lot of
proportion-
frontage.
Yeah, but then the house right next to me also has bigger lot. 334.
Mm-hmm.
It has 115% larger. They have 0.37 acres, and their valuation, I said, is 53% of mine.
Yeah, and they're probably a PC
It's
as well.
Their PC. All the other ones were PC2. Here, this is 334. Is PC2.
Yeah, and that's 1.65.
Yeah. All of these
So
others are
they're
PC2.
codes that have been around for a long time, and they change the value of the land, because it's a computer system with math.
It's like $1 million difference that they're valuing it. That just doesn't make any sense.
When I saw the difference in the values of the land, I was surprised to see how the sizes of some of these.
You know what, I'm changing my mind about these sold comps right now, because this doesn't make any sense.
This makes no
to me.
sense. This
No.
is like a complete error or something.
This
It
doesn't
makes
make
no
sense.
sense.
Right, but there is a couple sales, right? So, are you familiar with
But the
it?
sales have, I feel like this is, anyway.
Are you familiar with
It sounds like she
262
needs to
Pine
have
But
Creek?
262 is unobstructed view.
Okay, so tell it,
Whose house is
262 is owned.
That's Jackie Davis's.
No.
E.H. Ford Samare LLC. It was Lucinda Newth's house before, and then whoever bought it is an LLC bought it. E.H. Fords Samare LLC. Purchased it for $2.1 million in October of 2020.
Did you ever actually go down to the assessor's office and say, why is my?
I thought that I had to do this appeal.
No, I'm just asking, I'm just curious if you actually.
No, because I knew last year that I was supposed to try to appeal it, but then I missed a day, and I just have had a big crazy life of my own. But, so I just thought I had to wait until the appeal process, and it just doesn't make any sense.
So,
and there's,
Yeah.
You can go, you can go to the assessor yourself and make your case, right?
Yeah, but isn't
It's
that
just
the
a-
appeal?
Well, no, this is the process. If they say, no, it's good, then you can come here, and appeal
another year.
and say, no, right now, you can go, tomorrow and speak with them, right? I'm not telling you they're going to change it, but, you can present something to them and say,
It just seems like a big error, like twice as much of an error that it should be.
Right, so how did you come up with your $1,477,000 number?
I did, I actually didn't use that. I used the neighbor on the 334, because they actually, whatever, it's not the size of the property, because then it's multiplied by the size of the property.
So you used 334 Pine Creek?
I said that there was, here.
But that one didn't sell,
No,
right?
No, that house has been around for a long time.
Okay.
But that house I said I wrote here, the neighbor's lot is larger, also has the same partially obstructed view of the sound, and it was appraised at $870. If we say our lot is equivalent to their lot, it's an equivalent lot. It's next door, it has a dock, it's bigger, their house is bigger, but if we say it's the same kind of lot as theirs, and it's 86% of their size, our land will calculate out to and I based it on how it was valued for them, and I said it was $752 versus 1.625. It's like less than half. It just.
So something that happens too is
And then
that some people are too low and some people are too high. So just because
Yeah.
they're low doesn't make it right.
Yeah,
We're trying to
of
get to what the
Of
real
course.
market value is of October 2020.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to help you figure out.
But I think she
But I'm
also needs to find out if her designation is accurate, because
Yes,
that
but
will
either way,
stay on the field
they're
card
gonna-
forevermore.
Right, but they will change the designation based on the value that is the right value for that property. So what we really need to figure out is what it would have sold for in October of 2020, not what your neighbor has. But what do you think if it would have been on the market in October 2020?
Well, I bought it in 2017.
And what did you pay for it?
1.7.
So you paid 1.7 in 2017? Okay, so do you think it's gone up in value since?
Well, I remodeled.
So so how much, did
That's
you
the
do a
house,
lot of
that's
work
not the
to it?
property, that's the house. They
Right,
have a
no,
separate
but the
difference.
whole thing, so you paid $1.7 million,
Right.
and then how much money did you put into it, like?
I mean, it was like a little like beachy house, so we
Okay.
lifted it and gutted it.
You pulled some permits to do work on it.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's just see.
But so like that's, but we
You,
bought, yeah.
you pulled a permit for $520,000.
Okay.
Okay, so you pulled a permit for $500,000 in 2018. So that obviously added value to the house. And do you have two structures on the property or one?
Yeah, there's a cottage.
Does a cottage is a rental unit or no? Okay, so you have a cottage in the back that you rent and then you have your main house.
Mhm.
Okay, so those are the things, so those are values. So, in other words, I know, it's hard to explain, but sometimes people come in and say, I want what a neighbor has, and our job is to figure out what your house
Right.
was worth
Right.
in October of 2020, and that's the number that,
Right.
and so if things sell around you, or you say, okay, I bought it in 2017, the market's gotten better, and I paid $1.7 million, is it now worth $1.5 million in 2020? Probably not, right? Or $1.4 million.
Not a million, 2.3.
The town has it at
2.37.
Right, so you're saying you don't think it was worth that in 2020?
I don't really know, but,
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Right.
I have a question.
Not, right?
Go ahead, Paulette.
Was this appeal, when this woman came in, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but, when you came in, were you appealing your land value or your whole property?
I was appealing, I thought this was a tax appeal, and I feel like it's based on.
It is a tax appeal. No, it's a tax appeal.
Yeah.
But
So
when you came in, I thought I heard.
I'm appealing that, I'm appealing the land value appraisal because
Okay.
it looks like it's completely disproportionate to the neighborhood and out of line completely.
So I would like to be on that topic, and not the topic of how much money you put into your house. Because that's not what you're asking about. You're asking about how much is my land doesn't seem right compared to my neighbor whose lot is bigger. Now, I understand about that whatever those numbers are. SB 8, 9, bingo, that little bingo game that the tax assessor likes to play. But I don't believe in it, and I don't usually go by it. I look at the individual properties. Now, whatever the rest of the board does is their business. I'm just telling you, from my standpoint, I understand what you're asking for. We don't need to talk about your house. We only need to talk about the land.
Right.
And in 2020, if your land was valued higher than your neighbor's at the same time period, and his is bigger than yours, then there's no reason. It's a very simple thing. You go in there and you start looking at them. You say, okay, she's right. This is bigger, and they're equally as nice. This is larger. Why is her property so much more than this one? Because
Can you just wait a
he
moment,
coded it the way he felt like. He coded it
Just wait a
the way he
moment.
wanted. Well,
No,
I
but
don't
they're
think.
all coded that way. All the other ones are on the whole street are coded that way.
Yeah, I understand, but yours is coded differently. But why?
A mistake, I think.
It's very possible that it's a mistake. It's possible that that he's got a reason in his own little head. No, thank you.
But they're all like that.
I didn't order that. Kuzo. I can't do this now. take it back. So anyway, what I was gonna say is, I think that all we need to do is sit down and figure out the land value. We don't need to do a whole big calculation of you putting $500,000 into your house. So I think we need to sit down when we deliberate and go through that. Now, you're welcome. I think it's a good idea for you to go down to the tax assessor and ask him why yours is the only one at that number. Maybe it is a mistake. And if it is, he can fix it.
Has to be. Okay.
But if
that's
not-
the whole appeal process. It has to
No, I would do that tomorrow.
Understand how it was calculated, what that means, why it was used, that code was used on your property.
be. Sure, it's just been.
I wasn't finished, Kathleen. So before you butt in again, yet again, can I finish? Thank you.
Paulette, go ahead, yes.
Thank you. Just check with the tax assessor, see if he's willing, if there's anything he can do to correct the problem. If not, if you don't call us or if you don't email us rather, and say, yeah, my problem's all taken care of, I'm withdrawing my appeal, then we will continue with your appeal based on the information that there's a problem with your land value, not your house value. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure.
Although I'm not sure that, okay.
It's my pleasure. And as far as your rental goes, we have nothing to do with that. So don't worry about your rental.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
no, and it's a legal rental.
I'm done. Yeah, we don't need to worry about your rental. Okay, you're welcome. Good luck.
Why does your field card say 320 and we have you as 318?
So that's another error on there, and it's very confusing to me, and I was told that there's no way to change it because it's so complicated, your office, it's 318, 320. So if somehow.
It's a double lot?
No, it's one lot. It cannot be subdivided, but somehow, years ago, they were able to get a separate address for that, for the cottage, and I'm not sure, and that's 318 clearly, and the house is clearly 320. I'm not sure why it's on the field card as 318, because it should be 320.
Well, the field card does say 320.
Oh, but
I'll be home with
everything else says 318.
Yeah.
The field card does say 320, so
Yeah.
but they, like I said at the post office, they said, no, can't be
Yeah.
changed.
Well,
When
as
I
long
moved
as you're getting your mail.
Yeah, well, there's two, but anyway, but it's confusing.
Yeah, but I'm just
But the
looking
field
at the
card does
land
say-
values of all these other comps you gave us, and some of them are half of what yours are.
Yeah, I figured out 28 to 50, 28, what did I say?
Yeah.
28 to 62%, relatively lower. So that's different size, it's taking into account the different size lots too. So, and the one that's 28% is the one that's unobstructed view, so maybe that should be.
Is your view obstructed?
Yeah, it's on the creek, so
When
I
did
have
it
a
drive by?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the GIS, so I can see, like, this is,
It's like the
this is
Fairfield Beach
you over here,
Road.
right? That's
Yes,
your property.
so Fairfield
Okay.
Beach Road.
You're kind of at the end of Fairfield Beach, just before.
The other house,
This is you
the
across
house is,
there.
exactly. the
Okay,
other
so
house.
this is you, so that,
Right.
yeah, where these guys are,
On
you
the-
know, beyond the end
Right,
of the
exactly,
point. Okay.
exactly. So I can go tomorrow, but then do I?
Report back
How do I
to,
do that?
our email.
Yeah, write down
Whatever
our email.
happens, just
I will.
touch back with us.
Is that the email?
It's,
We'll give it to you.
BAA@fairfieldct.org.
Do I address it to anybody in particular?
Just the board.
We'll all get it.
We'll all get it.
Thank you.
All right,
Is there
thank
Somebody to
you.
talk to at the tax assessor, or just,
Unfortunately, Ross is out this week. He's the one who's most familiar with the coding.
should I wait until, I mean, I'm in the.
No, we can't wait.
No.
Well,
Well, you know
But,
what?
Ken probably can. Ken would probably can explain it. I don't know which, different assessors are assigned different sections of town. So there's gonna be one of the, not the head assessor, but there's gonna be somebody down, and one of the appraisers down there is assigned to the beach area.
Who
I
did-
think it might be Ken.
Who did you say was the one that was away?
Ross Murray, he's the
He is the
assessor.
assessor.
But Ken Carvel is the deputy assessor, and I think he does the beach. I feel like he's assigned to the beach area.
Okay.
So he may well be the person who looks at the properties on Pine Creek, and he'd be a good person to, or you can even call and talk to him if you want.
Ross?
Ross, no, it'll be Ken. Ross is out this week. But Ken can probably explain it, how it, why is that on there and how it affects the value.
And would he be able to say, yes, you're right, this is confusing and we can look into it, or is that not his position?
He might.
He might.
Report
back to us what he said.
He's also going to explain it to you.
Okay,
I don't
it's just
think
not
he will.
logical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see, it's just not logical. But thank you so
Yeah.
much.
All right, thank you for coming in. Door open.
Okay. But she's requesting $1.5 million. Hi. What's, where are we on for?
Number 22,
22.
720
Appeal
Silver
number
Spring.
22?
I don't know what it is.
Silver
That's
Spring
okay.
Road?
Silver Spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a seat over this way?
Sure,
Yeah, 'cause you're gonna have
wherever.
some papers
A
for
lot
you
of
to fill
seats.
out, yeah.
Okay. Can I didn't make enough copies as usual, so.
That's okay.
We have copies.
We have copies of your
You good?
appeals too, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Basically.
Oh, so I'm just gonna read some information into the record and then Helene's gonna swear you in.
Okay, thank you.
So your appeal number is 22.
Okay.
Yeah, your property address is 720 Silver Spring Road.
Yes.
Okay, the owner of the property is Lori Schaefer.
Me.
You're Lori Schaefer.
Yes.
The town has your property valued at $1,035,300.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have down that you're asking for more money than what the town has. You're asking to go up to $1,250,000. That's what your paperwork says, and I just want to make sure we understand that.
No, I didn't say that I was
Okay.
going up 1 million too.
Up to $1.2 million. That's what's filled out here. Your opinion of the market value is $1,250,000.
Yeah,
The
that's
town
my
value
opinion.
is $1,035,000.
That is my opinion based on what the real estate agent told me.
Okay, so
But that's not the value today.
I have no idea. And that was a year ago that she told me.
So she
They
gave-
want me to put it on the market for
Okay,
that.
yes, so she
That's
gave you a
today's
fair
value.
market value for it.
Okay.
Let's swear you in first before we get into this, okay? If you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I
If you would sign there for us, please.
It's red.
Good. All right, everybody else is signing in red tonight.
Okay. Do I have to put anything in?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
Thank you. I have an outline of what I'm going to discuss.
Okay.
Whenever you guys are ready. And I only made 4 copies. That's it. I need a copy though.
It's okay. You can hold on to it and we'll take notes.
Okay,
So, yeah. And we can share.
thank you. Do you want me to pass these things out now?
Or if you just want to talk about them?
I can.
Give us an overview.
Yeah.
I can. It took me an hour and a half to copy them, so, you know.
Oh, my
I gotta-
goodness, okay.
I'm kind of a funny person, so. And when I get nervous, I get more funny.
Don't be
I don't
nervous,
need to be
we're pretty
nervous here.
nice.
Okay, that's great.
We're all
Do
funny.
you guys all work for the town?
None of us.
No, we're volunteers,
Okay, great.
elected.
No.
Okay, let me just start. I'll go from my outline, so I'm organized. I believe my property is unfairly assessed for total property and use. I really did copy a lot of the other tax, the other towns, the other houses on my street. And I feel that most of my area is, hold on, let me get it out, is wetlands. I have 2 acres, 2.3 acres, and half of my property is wetlands, unusable. I cannot use it. I respect the town, and I do not touch my wetlands. And to be honest with you, I wanted to discuss a lot of the noise that's been coming across the street. That's the next discussion. But the town has really kind of, I did talk to the town a few years ago about my assessment, and I feel that it's way over where it should be, because of my neighbors. And I printed the neighbors' stuff, but I don't know if you want to look at it, because...
Do you want to name are they properties that sold, or it's just?
One of them has sold, and that's the one that I was going to bring up.
Okay.
With 541 Silver Spring Road.
And when did it sell?
A couple of years ago. They owned it, 7/10/2013. My God, time flies. 2013.
Okay. We're looking for some, hopefully, that sold in like 2020.
No, that street doesn't sell at all.
Doesn't sell.
No. I mean, nobody puts their house on the market there. I've lived in my house for 27 years.
Wow.
And I've taken care of it, but to be honest, I'm looking at the assessment for each, and this is the current assessment, the current value assigned to the properties that are my neighbors, and my house is almost the same as houses that are a lot bigger. And I think my house is very attractive, to be honest with you. But this is, I want to show you guys the actual land. But I have it all separated out. But can I give you guys this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but did you two share? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You get what
we can share.
Here, well, I have an extra one. But, that is the wetlands map. And my house is this house right here.
Mm-hmm.
This house.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's all conservation land, a lot of it, because the person that built my house actually sold off a lot of the property from the land to the state to build up I-95. This is true. I lived next door to his daughter, and she told me all about what her father did. They took out the property here and here. And in order to build my house, because the town gave him a rough time, he had to fill in a lot only in the front. The rest of it was all taken out so he could sell it to I-95, the state. And he made a lot of money. Then, after the house was built, he decided he didn't want to live there. So he sold it to an elderly couple, and they passed away. And this was 1989, 1990, in that area. And the elderly couple passed away. Yeah, so we were able to buy the house in 1997. That's when I started living there. And but we were told always that we cannot touch this area. I haven't even ever touched this area.
Okay.
It's my property, but I haven't touched it because I'm afraid that I like the fact that it's wetlands, to be honest with you. Some people don't like wetlands. I like wetlands. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy going on my deck in the back and sitting around, you know, having coffee and just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, can you hold on to this sheet, because the people in back of me, I have to address them in my next point.
Okay.
Okay, but basically, what I wanted to talk about was 541 Silver Spring Road, because it's a beautiful home. I have a picture of it in there. Where's my copy? Oh, here it is. I have 1 acre of usable land. Everyone else on the street, no one else has wetlands, just me. Okay, and half of my property I cannot use. And that's my point. is that I do not feel that I should be at 271 in terms of an assessment of land, when in actuality, I can only use part of the land. And I was able to put in an in-ground pool in 1999. And, you know, they valued it at whatever. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is the fact that the assessors come around and they look at my house, and my house, I keep my house very nicely. I have it painted every couple of years. I have a 3-car garage. If you look at this picture, the house is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the problem is, nobody else keeps their house as nicely as I do. Really, I'm not kidding. The house next door to me is 660 Silver Spring. It's 5,000 and I think 5,200 square feet. It's a huge house, but it's kind of.
That's this one?
No, it's that one. That one.
That looks like it has some wetlands too.
It does, but it doesn't anymore.
Oh.
Let me just say that he filled it in.
Oh.
But the town was apprised of it and allowed him to do it. Now that, I'm not kidding. I have pictures but you know what? I can't say anything about it because I am telling you something that I'm being honest. He put it's not a pergola, but it starts with a P, back there. He put a pool in, and that was approved by the town. And then in back of the pool, which is bordering the wetlands, and some of the wetlands he did cut down. I know because I have pictures of it. And he stuck this. It's covered, but it's open. What do you call that? It starts with a P. Not a pergola.
Which you're talking about 541 Silver Spring?
No, 720 is right next to 660. 660 is what I'm talking about.
Okay. Let me look it up.
I don't want to talk about him because I don't want to talk about him.
Okay.
I really don't. As far as they are concerned, they have their own thing. The town allowed them to do it. That's the end of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Maybe we should get to the number. What are you asking for? What number are you asking for? Because right now we have you going higher than what the town has you appraised at, so.
660 Silver Spring did sell in
Yes,
June of 2020.
that's right, yes, and.
For 850.
Yeah, and the reason it sold for $850 is because, how do I put it? She was desperate to leave. She had it on the market for a year, and I was upset because she was a terrific neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And she sold it to this fella, and this fella has a special deal with the state. That's all I'm trying to say, and that's it. So.
Do you think it sold for the right price at $850?
She owned the lot next to her as well and tried to sell it, the lot next to her and her house for $1.2 million. Back when $1.2 million was unbelievable. She sold it in 2020.
Right.
And that was when she got desperate. She had purchased a house in Florida and she was desperate to get the money out of her house. And she sold, she was fairly wealthy. And I have to tell you that her father is the one that built her house and my house.
Do you think that her house is nicer than yours or not as nice as yours?
It's not as nice in terms of style.
How about square footage?
You can look, the condition was okay. I mean, she had a view, I mean, I've been in her house, but
We'll look at that when we.
let's just look at,
Okay.
let's just look at the picture of my house and then look at the picture of
Yeah, you have
their
a beautiful
house.
house.
I
Yeah.
did include the picture of their house.
Okay.
Hold on, let me just figure out.
But we still haven't established what you are asking for.
I'm trying to get to the,
Yeah.
whether she's
Okay,
asking for 850 or, yeah.
Listen, I had my attorney contact the former town lawyer back in 12 years ago, I think it was, about the taxes, because my taxes have always been higher than everybody else on my street. And I'm a little upset about it because my house is cute. It's very cute. And I don't mean to be like, I'm not trying to tell you, oh, my house is the greatest. I'm just telling you, my house has a nice front.
Pride of ownership. You're allowed to have that.
Well,
Curb appeal.
it's got, yes, thank you, curb appeal. That's exactly what it has. And but I don't think I could sell my house for 1.2 million, to be honest with you. But that's what the realtor
Well, we're
told
not
me.
looking for the value today, and we're not even talking about the value that your realtor gave you last year.
Yeah,
We're looking at the value in October 1st, 2020.
okay.
So that's
What
the
do you
number
think
we
it
need
was
to get
worth?
to.
October
Oh, well,
1st, 2020.
I didn't talk to a realtor back then.
No, but in your head, if you had had it on the market in October of 2020, right after 660 Silver Spring sold, what do you
She
think?
I
sold
was
for
shocked.
$850.
I was shocked that she sold it for $850.
Was that
I
too
thought
low or
it should have
too
gone
high?
between 900 and $1 million.
Okay.
That's
But what
my,
about your house? What if yours had been on the market at the same time? What do you think yours would have sold for?
I think between 900 and $1 million.
Yours too.
I paid $800 for my house, which was terribly overpriced.
Okay.
And we did it because, we wanted to move out of Trumbull. Our son was going to Fairfield School, private school, and, we wanted to be close so that he had friends that could come over and play.
Okay.
We lived far away.
So right now, the town has you at $1,035,000.
Yeah.
In 2020, that's what they're thinking. If you had sold your house in October of 2020, the town is saying you would have gotten $1,035,000 for your house.
I don't think so.
Okay, what do you think you would have gotten in October
I
of
think
2020?
between 900 and $1 million.
Between 950 and $1 million, or 900?
It's probably
950?
950.
My house was on the market in 97 for 900,000 and nobody looked at it.
That was in 1997.
Right,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but
No,
even,
We're looking for October 2020, that's what we're trying to get.
Yeah.
2020.
October 2020, yep.
wasn't it at $1,035,000 then?
That's what the town said it was worth.
Yeah.
And
They-
they
It stays that way for 5 years. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And
I
then your
thought that-
taxes only change because of the mill rate. When the mill rate changes, then your taxes can fluctuate.
Okay.
But the valuation, assessed value stays the same for 5 years.
I didn't know that.
And
And
then
that,
next year.
that started in 2020.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this-
I didn't
yeah.
know. I'm quite ignorant about towns. You know, I just pay the taxes. I don't, but I'm upset because back when in 2012, when I argued with, I have all this stuff, I left it at home though, from the lawyer, he assessed all the town's houses, 5 houses. He put them in, and basically they were assessed and, taxed similarly to mine, but mine is over and above what other houses. I mean, let me just say this. The house next door to me at 660 is 2.03 acres usable. I can't use my
I
property.
think that's, I think that's part of it. Just for the record, she has a
You do have a
.9.
condition factor on
She
that.
has a condition factor of .9 right now.
And a right-of-way easement.
I do have a right of, I have,
.38 on the additional land
Whose
above.
easement does that,
That's
who is that
to
for?
the right of your property.
I believe it's the, and the sign's out front, I never look at
Is
it.
it water?
Aspetuck Trails, the trail runs on my property.
Oh.
I've had to, pay insurance, heavy insurance for that,
Oh, my God.
because it is on my property, and I'm scared half to death somebody's gonna fall or hurt themselves and sue me, because I own the property. That happens, by the way.
How much did they give on that?
I don't know, I don't
Nothing.
understand what they're doing.
Nothing, I never addressed it with them.
It's the easement, right here, the right-of-way easement is her additional acreage. She got 2 acres plus the .15 acreage, and that's the right-of-way, so they value it at 5,300. And you did get a change in the courts in 2007, right? You took your appeal to court, and you got a reduction in 2007, it looks like.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
why
much.
we're talking about the attorney.
And I knew the attorney, actually, he was the town attorney, and I forgot his name.
Mhm.
he actually did the closing of my house with me. And, he came and
Dick
worked for
Saxel,
the,
maybe.
what?
Well, Dick Saxel was the town attorney.
Saxel.
2000.
That's who it was, yes.
Yeah.
And anyway, he, only gave like $1,000 off the taxes, and I agreed to it. I just said, okay, that's fine. You know, what do I know? I don't know much, but I do believe that I'm over-assessed and overpriced for what I have. And especially, I have photos that I submitted to the town back then.
In 2007.
Yeah, back then, where I was flooded, completely flooded in the back, because the properties behind me are much higher. They are, the Vacheron property is about 15 feet higher than my property. And all of their land it's actually angled so that everything comes down to my property. On top of that, I have, it's very difficult to live in my house because I have to worry about, I had to put in 2 sump pumps in my basement. Now, before those houses were built, I didn't have to put any sump pumps. I never had any water in my basement, never. And that was, I put them in 2010 with Connecticut Basement. And then, is that,
She's on the phone, I know, she's in the hospital, so she has some beeping going on. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, but did we get an actual, did we actually get a number, that, we
950.
We have 950, we've got
Okay.
somebody else
Excuse me?
outside, probably, yeah, but another.
I do have,
950?
I have a comment before we go there. I'm sorry I didn't get your name when you came in, but I'm a little confused. When you came in, and just a little while ago, you said between 900 and $1 million. Then one of the board members suggested 950, and so you went with that. What number do you really want? Because
I don't know.
Okay. Well, did you want to go back to 900 to $1 million? Because I don't think.
I kind of agreed halfway, you know? It was like.
Is that what you really want? Well, it doesn't matter what you agreed to because we're not done yet. Is that what you want?
No, I want a reduction in my taxes, and that's about it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
So, but you have to come up with a value. That's the way it works. So, are you saying that you're requesting a value of 900 or 950?
I'm not requesting anything of the sort. What I am requesting is the land to be reassessed. Because I can only use 1 acre of my 2-acre property.
All
That's
right,
it.
I understand. Okay. So,
I mean, I'm patient, but listen, you guys, I'm trying to talk this through, but every house on my street pays less than I do, okay? And that's ridiculous, because my house is smaller. My house is 3,900 square feet. That's it. And as far as that is concerned, I am very concerned about being charged $21,000 a year in taxes. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
As far as I'm concerned, listen, that's a lot of money.
Okay. So
I don't work.
You're really questioning more of the land value than anything else. Is that right?
I didn't look at the assessment with regard to the house itself. No.
Okay.
Because I love my house. My house is a great house. It's perfect for me, but as far as the land, I can only use part of my land. I have neighbors that are obnoxious, that run their pool, and that's the next thing I was going to discuss, was the neighbor in back of me, who is extremely wealthy, and runs the pool from 6 o'clock in the morning to 1:45 in the morning. I think that should be taken into account in my assessment, because I have 3 streets around my property, and people drive like 50 miles an hour past my house, and they turn left on Queens Grant Drive and go up Queens Grant Drive and then drive fast on Queens Grant. So I get to see them once in front of my house, once next to my house, and then once in back of my house. So I believe that my house is overassessed, yes.
Okay.
Now, if anybody wants to come to my house and take a look, I don't believe the assessment company did. okay? They drive around, they look at the house, they look at the figures, and they go, oh, that's a nice house. And look at all that land.
So because we're required to have you give us a number, are you 900?
I don't know.
925?
I will not commit to a number.
950?
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, so 900 to 950.
Listen, the house next door to me is bigger than my house. It's 5,000 something square feet. It's a nice house. He put in a pool. I don't know what his new valuation is. I have no idea.
Well, we'll take a look at it, and we thank you for bringing all this information. We start our deliberations tomorrow, and then we continue with them next week. But we're not sure where you're...
How do you value, excuse me for interrupting, but how do you value land?
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it's listed at 279.
Yeah, well, we look at everything, and I mean, you do have a condition factor on your land already. I think in your case, we should take into account your comments about the land, but I think in general, we should look at the whole package.
I have
to come up with your evaluation.
But let me just discuss the noise and the rudeness of my neighbor in back of me.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but unfortunately, that is something that's not within our purview. I mean,
I understand, however, it
can't
affects
take
the value of my home.
Well, we can't take into account being across from a blighted property. We can't take into account a property that where the homeowner feeds stray cats. We can't take into account the fact that they're noisy and run their pool equipment. I wish we could, but that's not something that we consider.
I think you should use 900. That's not something that I knew about, that I'd have to analyze how much my house should be assessed, at. I didn't think about that. I've never done this type of thing before. I've always paid my taxes. I never have had a problem. However, I do feel that I am assessed pretty high.
Yeah.
If you look at the neighbors' things that I provided you, you will see, I don't know how you cannot compare my house to other people's houses on my street that are bigger than my house, and nice.
You've made some very good points, and we're going to do everything we can to give you a fair review.
I understand what you're saying. However, you need to take into account the other houses on my street, and you guys didn't even look at this stuff. I prepared this all for you.
We didn't leave them all, because we're not gonna make decisions probably until next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, I provide good arguments here,
Yeah.
okay?
We take a lot more time during our deliberations than we do at the hearing, so if you want to
Okay.
leave that with us, we'll take a look,
Well,
we will.
yeah, it's just, I was going to discuss every single one. I did 4 of them.
I know.
Unfortunately, we don't have that time during our hearings, but if you want to leave that, we'll definitely look at it.
I mean, how many did I give out already? Because I already still have several. So, you have one over there.
You gave us this.
And we have
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Well, there's a whole package.
Okay, you can give those, because they're gonna go in the folder, and they can,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
we can make copies.
all right. I just want to hold on to my original.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me just look and see which the original is. Oh, my God.
Well, maybe,
Put them all, this is my copy, okay. I wrote my copy on it, okay. So,
I
this
do
is
too.
it, this is,
Okay.
I mean, I would appreciate you analyzing or
Oh, we
taking a
will.
look at this stuff.
We definitely will. Be
But-
rest assured, we will spend time on it.
Did I give, you both have one?
We'll share it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the next person
Yeah.
for a little while.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for doing your homework.
Wayne,
I tried.
Yes.
Wayne, take one for me and drop it off at my house.
Okay. I will.
Anthony will bring it to me.
Take one for
She
her and
wants
drop
one.
it off at her house.
I'm going to get it for you.
Aren't they all gonna be scanned? Well,
They'll scan them in and add them to the file.
Yeah, they'll scan them to the file, but she may not have her.
Here,
I
come on in.
believe
You can have a safe Carol
is yours.
copy, Carol.
Yeah, my copy.
Okay. Right.
I don't know. And there's another one here if you need it. I mean, I would appreciate you just analyzing what I've discussed and
Absolutely,
taking a
we
look
will.
at the other houses.
We will.
I think it should be fairer.
I've got it, Paulette.
My house is very attractive, So that's one of the problems, even though it's smaller and whatever, it's a nice house, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
You
Have a
too.
good evening.
Okay, so, I'm just gonna read some information into the record about your appeal and correct it if any of it's wrong. Okay, let's see, the time is 7:22. Oh, that'd be
Yes,
great,
please.
thank you. And your appeal number is 26. Your property address is 32 Overlook Avenue.
Yeah.
The owner is, can you pronounce the name? Nahid?
Nahid Zaman or Khan?
Khan Zaman is what
Khan
we see.
Zaman.
Yep. And the town has the property valued at $209,900,
Mhm.
and you're requesting a reduction in the value to $190,100. And you're the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay. Lean's gonna swear you
Okay,
in.
if you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Okay. And if you would sign right there next to the X.
Is that heat or rain?
It's probably rain.
Wow.
Or wind.
Wind. No, I heard it in here. Okay, and your property's a condo, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have to put date or?
No. Thank you.
Sorry, I have a little cold, so that's why.
Oh, that's
Mask.
okay.
If I cough, then I'll keep the mask on. Now, so far, I'm okay.
Okay, go ahead and start.
Okay, first of all, just last 3 days, I was a little sick, so I couldn't bring actual evidence, but I can just verbally, I can say something. First of all, last year, end of December, I was looking for a house, because I was divorced and I have to move right away, within 3 weeks. So I found that apartment that was one of my friend's house. So right away, within 2 weeks, I moved. When she moved, that house wasn't clean. She had a big cat with a very furry cat, and she had some kind of disabilities, so she couldn't clean the carpet or house that well. So I had allergies, infection. A few months ago, I had a polyp surgery, so that infection gave me more bad reaction. So I cleaned, that duct was filled with the cat fur. It was filled, thick, 1 inch, everywhere. I painted, I cleaned 2-3 times, I wiped, sprayed the house, and the carpet was fur and synthetic, so I took it off. The garage door was broken. I don't know, I have to mention this one or two or not. And then the entrance of our apartment, the carpet is old and stained. And my bedroom and my son's room, that they have both windows close to the back of the building and their entrance, so I can keep the window up or slide up because they can see everything then. And the highway is pretty close, so you can hear the noise. And the highway is closed, and 2 months ago, 3 months ago, there had a car stolen or something nearby my house, at that street. That another purpose, all our neighbors are a little bit anxious sometimes to keep the cars over the street. And my condo charge increased after 6 months. It was $225, and after 6 months, it increased. When I came, just January, and when I purchased, I had no choice. I tried. It was high, but I bought that time. I had no place to go somewhere, so I just bought it. But then after 6 months, the HOA, they increased the common charge.
Is your condo just to the two, there's there's 2 units on the property, is that right?
Yes.
Or 4 condos total?
8, yeah.
There's 8 condos?
Yes.
Okay. Have any of those condos sold recently, in 2020, do you know? Condos are a little harder to research.
The one I got from the internet, one house sold,
It was 2010, so
You wanna,
2 years ago.
you wanna show it to me?
Yeah.
I might be able to eyeball it. Are you on Zillow? Is
Yeah.
that from Zillow?
This is from Zillow.
Mm.
This is, 60.
Okay.
And, my neighbor the other side, some, neighbors, they used to throw the trash in our trash, dumpster. They used to throw, and then they figured it out that they thought that we did it, and then they found out that our neighbors. used to do
Excuse
that.
me, yours is a two-bed, so is yours the same size as this house?
Yeah.
So this house sold, you think 2 years ago?
What's the number?
It's 60 Overlook.
60 Overlook, and
I guess
that's one
we
of
can
the
look
8
it up.
units you're talking about. Is that right? It's one of the 8 units? The 60
Yeah.
Overlook is one of the 8 units in your condo complex?
Yep,
Okay.
245.
Sold for $245.
Yeah, we have, 8 units.
Are they all the same?
All the same.
And 60 is one of them?
60 is one of them, yeah.
Okay. And it's over
60 is
$245.
the other
What was the
side.
date?
We are right
You're
beside-
facing the,
You're facing
facing
the
the
Black Rock
highway?
Turnpike.
We're facing the highway, exactly.
Yeah.
okay.
We're facing in the highway and
Okay.
no sun there, mostly the sun coming up to the other building.
Mm-hmm. What was the sale date on the 60? Do you have it? Oh, you
It's
don't?
not here, but I'm sure if we typed it in,
60
we
Overlook?
could find it.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 years ago.
Sometimes the condos don't, well, I can, you know what?
If we just look on Zillow, I'm sure.
So let me look on,
I think this is a Zestimate. I don't know if that's
I,
a sale.
that's what I'm looking.
yeah, I'm looking at the field card. I found 60. It sold in 2023 for $245.
Oh, okay.
2023, right?
Yeah, we were looking for 2020.
Yeah.
What are the, yeah,
Too recent.
yeah.
Or 2020, I don't know, 2020.
Right.
I don't have any.
Okay, and how did you come up with your number of 190,000?
100.
100.
That was very
Right.
specific. 190, 100.
You're asking for the value to be reduced to 190,100. Do you know how you came up
Oh,
with that number?
because, the market property, you're showing that it's 209, right?
Yours is
Oh,
209.
you were doing
Yeah.
math, so you were
Yeah.
reducing it by,
Right.
what, 20,000? Is that what you were
Yeah.
doing?
Uh-huh. Because it's 1 bedroom.
Wait a minute, you live in a one-bedroom?
I'm sorry, a 1 bathroom.
One bath,
One
yes.
bathroom.
They're all the
They're
same,
all
right?
the
2
same.
beds, 1 bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when the owner bought it, was only 175.
What number was that?
Mine.
Oh, your
The
unit?
one, yeah,
Okay.
the
What-
previous owner.
But they bought it in 2013
Yeah.
for 175. Okay.
So.
Unfortunately, that's not relevant.
It might have been from a bank too. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Looks like it was from a bank. Do you know, I'm just trying to think what the other numbers are in that unit.
I'm
60,
trying
32. Condos are just hard. They don't always click, when you do it on the map, they don't always come up.
I don't see any that sold in that time period.
I mean, it's interesting, there's no,
Yeah.
so for hers, 4 that are facing the highway, I don't know, she has no
32 to
condition,
66.
sometimes you see like highway, I've seen that where it says highway.
On the
or-
condo.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't, because there's no landline on a condo, that's the problem.
Oh, so they can't.
Right, the land is
You know,
zero. It's
Oh.
all
Near
in
the
the
Stop
house.
and Shop. See the.
No, we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about if the
The area.
assessor can discount the condos that are facing the highway versus the condos in your same complex that are not facing the highway. I
Okay.
wanted to see if they discounted the value,
Oh.
but they don't, it's according to the land, and because it's a condo, as she just said,
Yeah,
it
there is
doesn't
this,
have a
you know,
value,
there's some
so-
condo data in here, like condo floor, 1 flat description, hot factor. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, I don't know how those work. That would be the place I would think, but looks like the numbers go from 32 to 66, and you're in the lowest unit number, right? All in that parcel. Yeah.
Did you find anything?
Well, it's interesting. There's one that just sold in February of this year. And
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's you. Okay,
What'd she
okay.
say?
Well, I'm
300.
saying her assessed value is what?
300.
Okay. Okay, well, it's 2024.
Okay, so we understand how she came to her 190 number. I didn't totally follow it, but if you followed it, Carol?
You have the
She
picture
just
of my house?
reduced it
Right
by
here.
By a certain
almost
percentage?
20,000. I don't think it was a percentage.
Okay.
I think you just,
I just guessed, like.
You just
she estimated.
Estimated.
Okay.
I was actually not sure, this is my first time, so I said that, oh my God, I just bought the house, it'll be really a lot,
I mean, the
Go for
245 on the opposite side of the street in 2023, I mean, technically, we could discount based on growth. If there's no other condos that sold in that time frame.
I mean, if you bought it for
From her.
300 in this year, in 24.
She thinks she overpaid.
Yeah, I mean, your assessed value, 70% of that 300,000 is 210, which is basically what the town has you appraised for back in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The same today as it was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it would seem that you're over assessed.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us?
yeah, and I have, I have college-going kids, so I don't wanna go somewhere where it's not okay to go. So
Right.
I had no choice, I have to go for that price.
So 54 Overlook sold in July of 19, so a little bit outside for 220.
Oh, not in our area, right?
No, it is. It's in
In
your
my building?
54 Overlook Avenue. Is that the other are there multiple buildings?
So in July of 2019.
Not ours.
19, so it was before, right? A little
Not
bit
ours,
before.
right?
54,
Not our
no.
building.
54
No,
Overlook,
54.
is that the other
Yeah,
building?
We don't have 54.
Oh, it looked like the condos go from 32
No.
to 66, no?
Yeah, yes.
No.
We do.
8 condos.
We have 32, 36.
That's what I saw on the
34.
card, 32 to 66.
Yeah.
Includes 54 Overlook.
Yeah,
and
that's-
up to 64, from 32.
Right, so that's 54.
That's one of them. I'm looking at it right
Oh,
here.
54,
And
that
sold
was
for
last time.
220,
Okay.
yeah. And that was in July of,
220.
yeah. in
Was
July.
that on the same side as her or no?
It sold for $220,000 in July of 2019.
Right.
Now, that's not October 2020, but the
Okay.
year before.
Close to.
A year before, yeah, a year.
Which side of the road is 54?
Left side.
Across from you or on the same side as you?
No, cross.
Across. Okay.
Even though they're both even numbers, huh?
Yeah, we are more less numbers, they are higher numbers. We are four condos and now like a lower numbers and right inside, near the highway and road, busy road. And the other one is not a busy road.
Any other questions?
I'm good. Paulette?
No questions.
Paulette, you there?
I'm here, no questions. Can you hear me?
Elaine, you good?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you, okay.
Okay.
So we meet as a board to deliberate tomorrow and next week, I guess.
Okay.
And then you'll get a letter in the mail based
Okay.
on the vote, the
Okay,
decision.
okay. Yeah, I just took the
Do you have
challenge.
anything else you wanna give me all your stuff, or
No, this
no?
is the one you asked for to bring the fill up, the appeal form that I brought up.
Yeah, we have that.
Actually, I brought, the evidence about the house, but I have my record of my decision.
Field card, we have that.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay. No, I didn't bring.
Okay, okay.
I don't know actually.
I have your
what
Zillow
I'm
thing.
supposed to bring, like actual evidence.
On the internet, it spells out what you could
Does
bring.
that municipalities or like, I guess my house not, oh yeah, my house is not close to the school or college or anything. Yeah.
No, that wouldn't be relevant. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much and have a good night.
You too.
Hello? Are we done?
No, we have Fairfield Beach Road
Yeah.
at 7:30.
Oh, no, really? Oh, 7:30. Oh,
Yeah.
go to 7:40.
Hello?
Have a good night, thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Thank
That
you.
last one reminded me of one year I had somebody that, his only argument was that the person next to him was feeding stray cats. And I was like, you know what, you need to talk to animal control. And I felt, I knew she wanted to go into the whole noise, and it's like, there was a whole thing of noise ordinance information that she gave us too. I was like, can't.
It's hard. I had someone, what was it, probably in the 600 years or maybe the year after, who just wanted a land reduction, was not interested at all in talking about the value of their home. All they wanted was reduction in their land. Just please give me a reduction. Doesn't matter what the final value is, just please reduce my land and recognize that I have wetlands. And they wanted that on the card. Okay. It's really hard when they
I
won't
hope
give you a number.
I hope
you
she
know?
trusts us that we're gonna actually deliberate. That's what I tried to convey, like, no, real definitely.
So hard.
Yeah.
And then we did tell the other person who couldn't make it, oh man, what's leaking? To come at 7:45.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that couldn't make it last night.
Oh.
Or Roisin, is it Roisin in the assessor's office? But the gentleman wasn't sure that he could make it at that time either, because he has to take care of his kids or something, so. I don't know whether we'll get this one or the other one.
Paulette, did you get your ashes today?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I did get them. They came around.
So, there was a guy before, he poked his head in, and he saw Kathleen and I with our ashes, and he said, oh, I thought maybe you had a mark on your head for someone to kill you.
No, shoot you.
Shoot you. Well,
Oh,
that
my
would
God.
be killing. No, that's not the purpose.
Now, well, I didn't know that. I guess other Christians do ashes. I didn't know that.
Do they?
I don't know. They were talking about on
You
the
mean
news.
like-
You mean non-Catholics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know they did ashes
Yeah.
in Good Land.
I think so. I
They
never
were
know.
giving, yeah, they were giving, at Greenfield Hill, they were giving ashes tonight.
They do, yeah.
I didn't know.
This is really long.
I went to
It's a good thing.
Holy Name in Stratford.
Oh, okay.
You did.
Yeah.
Yours were off already.
Yeah, they were.
They were light.
Yeah.
Ashes light.
Well, is that the last one?
Well, there was the person who called in and couldn't make it yesterday, so Roisin told the person to come after our last 7:30, so to come at 7:45.
Oh,
So we're at 7:42,
Okay.
so we give that person
Okay, gotcha.
a little bit of
But
time.
Fair-
All right.
He wasn't sure that he could make it or not.
Fairfield Woods Road didn't show up.
It wasn't, oh no, Fairfield Beach Road did not.
Yeah, they're a no-show for sure.
So far, yeah.
All right, well then.
That's too bad. Those are always my favorites.
This was a merger of cards or something.
I saw Katie today.
Oh, how is she? She coming back?
No. I was telling her about you. She said she was gonna text you.
Oh, okay. I saw Alexis.
Yeah.
She came in to see me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I think her mother is getting ready to go to,
Rehab tomorrow.
Rehab
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. She's going
She
tomorrow.
looked pretty sick the other day. After I left you the other day,
Yeah.
I stopped in. I just peeked in to see her, and she just had a blood transfusion.
Oh, they did that to me the last time I was in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You don't feel any different afterwards. I didn't feel any different.
No.
Except that now my blood is
Well,
tainted.
she's pretty sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Alexis said. So what's Katie up to? Anything good?
No, nothing new.
Okay.
I was kind of surprised to see her because I thought she was one of the ones that jumped ship. St. Thomas.
Oh. Yeah, I'm surprised she doesn't go to St. Pius because she lives on Burr Street.
Yeah, well, they've always been at St. Thomas, but
Oh, well, that's why, yeah.
a lot of people left.
Oh, wow.
So this Fairfield Beach Road one is, I've been out of town and will continue to be out of town next week.
Yeah.
So, dear members, I'm out of town. Appreciate your consideration.
In his file.
My email request. So,
Why didn't they just, someone to represent them?
Well, what if he doesn't come? We have his information.
February 20th. This is Jessica Golden, right? But it looks like what ended up happening is the two field cards just got combined, and there was no increase or change in the value. They just combined the two. The Creekside property was a separate field card, so they combined them into one card and added, the Creekside property to the main property on 2081. Her question was,
Oh, I know.
reason for the appeal. Similar properties in the vicinity with comparable size conditions and lasers.
Visiting hours will end in 15 minutes. Attention, all visitors. The time is now 7:45 p.m. Visiting hours will end in 15 minutes.
Oh, the other one.
Oh, and she got, this one got a reduction in 2021, BA change granted. So technically they can't appeal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Fairfield Beach Road? Yeah.
It looks like 2082 got a reduction. And then the two properties were merged together, but the dollar value didn't change. So, it's tough to say you appealed the lesser of the right, but she appealed the Creekside property. That's what it looks like. She got a reduction on the Creekside property in 2021. The two cards were merged together.
Yeah, that's when you sell your house. You're not gonna tell them. No. Yeah.
Assessor debit and salary, 963 is a grant. I'm not even sure. 960. Oh, it's that.
She should look at many different, she should look at all those, because they're all similar in that
You know, look down the.
Yes, I like that.
I don't think he's gonna come, and it's, you know, whether she's got a count, if anyone did the calculations on how many weeks that is.
The least,
Probably
no, but I can tell by the way he spoke.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because of the words you use.
I think we can safely.
Appearance, I never would have guessed. What, we're
I
up,
think we can safely adjourn.
yeah.
Paula, do you want to adjourn the meeting, or want me to?
William can do it.
All right. The time is 7:48. I make a motion that we adjourn for the day. All in favor?
Aye.
Stop the recording.